This page is the cover of a 1999 issue of a Japanese Dreamcast magazine. The vibrant cover features prominent mecha, including a familiar Gundam design and a striking blue mecha, promoting the new game Sunrise Ayutan, which promises a dream tag team of Sunrise heroes on the DC. The headline screams, Dreamcast Fan. The cover highlights several major titles with features inside, such as Evolution, World of Sacred Device, Sonic Adventure, and Sengoku Turbo. A big focus is placed on Capcom's strong lineup for the DC, specifically calling out Power Stone and Marvel vs. Capcom. There's also a continued report on the highly anticipated Shenmue. Other games mentioned as new titles receiving coverage include Kitahi, White Illumination, Real Sound Kai's No Regret, Elemental Gimmick Gear, Psychic Force 2012, and Maken X. The magazine also points to features on online gaming, with titles like Guru Guru Onsen, and racing games like Super Speed Racing and Redline Racer, alongside the horror adventure game, The Seven Mansions, Eerie Smiles. This cover sets the stage for a deep dive into the current and upcoming Dreamcast releases, showcasing a diverse library. This page features the survival horror game D2, known in Japan as D no Shokutaku 2, or D's Diner 2. The image shows a character from the game, possibly the protagonist Laura Lewis, alongside a backdrop of a dark, stormy landscape, likely a scene from the game's snowy wilderness setting. The prominent D2 Shock logo confirms the game. Below the title, Japanese text announces that the first production run of the game includes a trial disc. This bonus disc offers players a taste of the game, featuring content such as the opening movie, the very first scene, a specific stewardess battle, a snowmobile section, sound files, and more. This page serves as a promotion for the game and highlights an enticing bonus for early buyers, giving a glimpse into the various elements of Dead 2's gameplay and presentation. This page features the unique Dreamcast title, Real Sound Kai's No Regret. Unlike typical games, Real Sound is a sound novel, relying primarily on audio and text to tell its story, rather than traditional graphics or character models. The page promotes the game with its title prominently displayed in Japanese, translating to Real Sound Wind of Regret. It announces the release date as March 11th, and the price is 4,800 yen before tax. The image shows a serene, somewhat overcast sky above a road and landscape, with a solitary guitar and musical notes, visually representing the game's focus on sound and narrative, rather than action or visuals. Small text at the bottom indicates compatibility with Dreamcast peripherals, including the Puru Puru Pack, Vibration Pack, network features, and the visual memory unit. This page highlights a distinctly different type of interactive experience available on the Dreamcast, emphasizing atmosphere and storytelling through sound. This page features a promotional spread for two unique Dreamcast titles published by NEC. Prominently displayed is Sengoku Turbo, described as an advanced action role-playing adventure set in a mysterious Turbo world. The ad highlights a lonely girl wandering the universe and mentions a cat versus sheep million polygon great battle, suggesting quirky, action-packed gameplay with distinct character designs, as seen in the large character visual. The page also features Seventh Cross, a creature evolution simulation RPG. This game is described as leveraging neurotechnology SOM, self-organization map, a type of neural network, and the Dreamcast's graphical capabilities to present a survival experience where the player's choices influence the world and evolution. Both games are advertised as highly acclaimed, now on sale, and priced at 5,800 yen each, excluding tax. A vertical block of text on the right side asks, "Are you fond of strange things?" hinting at the unusual nature of these titles. There's also a humorous dialogue snippet between FMP and Sheep Professor, discussing the nature of the advertisement itself, adding a meta layer to the promotion. The page includes the NEC and Dreamcast logos, and a website address for more information. This page is the table of contents for the magazine, packed with features on the hottest Dreamcast titles. Front and center are big previews of Sega Rally 2, the arcade perfect racer, along with a special 1999 Capcom strategy file featuring the chaotic arena fighter Power Stone and the crossover powerhouse Marvel vs. Capcom. There's also an urgent report on the stylish action game Maken X, and a special feature introducing a bunch of exciting new games, like the tentatively titled Sunrise Ayutan, Super Speed Racing, the unique puzzle game Atsumare, Guru Guru Onsen, Redline Racer, Nanatsu no Hikan, Senritsu no Bishu, and Strategy Giants, Nobunaga's Ambition and Romance of the Three Kingdoms Fix. On the strategy front, you'll find guides for classics like Sonic Adventure, Evolution, and the distinctive NEC titles, Seventh Cross, and Sengoku Turb. The follow-up reports section catches you up on highly anticipated titles, including the monumental Shenmue, Elemental Gimmick Gear, Psychic Force 2012, Puyo Puyon, Arrow Dancing, and the Dungeons & Dragons collection. Plus, there are all the regular features like game news, impressions, reader corners, and rankings. It's a snapshot of the Dreamcast's incredibly diverse early lineup. This page is all about Sega Rally 2 and its exciting network battle feature. The main headline proclaims, "Finally, network battle begins!" for Sega Rally 2 Championship. The text explains that while there were some delays, Sega Rally 2 has now been released, and many people are already hyped up about the network battles, which are the main highlight. The article promises to teach techniques to win against rivals from all over the country. There's a screenshot showing two cars in action, presumably demonstrating the network play. Below that, a large English slogan encourages players with, "Let's play network battle." This page clearly emphasizes the groundbreaking online competitive aspect of Sega Rally 2, which was a big deal for the Dreamcast. This page dives deeper into mastering Sega Rally 2, focusing on the critical elements for dominating online network battles. The main thrust is starting strategy guides for every course, and breaking down the specific characteristics of each car, essential knowledge if you want to compete effectively. The article stresses that simply knowing the tracks isn't enough. You need to understand the nuances of the numerous vehicles available in the game. There's a dedicated section offering tips on how to win against tough opponents online, highlighting the importance of grasping course layouts and car handling. Screenshots showcase gameplay, including a result screen showing a fifth-place finish, suggesting the competitive nature of the game even before online play. Furthermore, the page announces the launch of the official Sega online ranking system for Sega Rally 2. This system allows players to check national rankings and submit their own best times, using passwords obtained in the game. The page displays a snapshot of the current top rankings, listing various drivers, the machines they used, like the Corolla WRC, Delta HF Integrale, Lancer Evo V, and Impreza 555, the gearboxes, and their recorded times. This ranking system was a big deal, letting players see how they stacked up against the best across Japan. This page continues the focus on mastering Sega Rally 2, this time diving into the arcade mode, specifically detailing the characteristics of its 4 courses and the 8 available cars. The article emphasizes that understanding the unique handling properties of each vehicle is just as crucial as knowing the track layouts if you want to succeed. It breaks down the cars by their drivetrain type, explaining how midship engine rear drive, MR, cars like the Lancia Stratos behave, highlighting their sharp handling but tendency for the tail to swing out. Front engine front drive, FF, cars, such as the Peugeot 306 Maxi, are described as generally easier to handle for beginners, with a tendency towards understeer. Finally, the powerful four-wheel drive, 4WD cars, which make up most of the roster, including the Subaru Impreza and Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, are discussed for their stability and traction, although they can still experience understeer in corners. The guide aims to help players choose and master the cars best suited to their driving style and dominate the arcade circuits. The next page continues the Sega Rally 2 guide, focusing on mastering the driving techniques for each car type. It provides in-depth tips and observations for handling midship engine rear drive, MR, front engine front drive, FF, and four-wheel drive, 4WD vehicles. For MR cars like the Lancia Stratos, the guide emphasizes their sharp but sensitive handling, noting that even minor errors can significantly impact performance and recovery. FF cars, such as the Peugeot 306 Maxi, are primarily suited for grip driving, with advice centered on smooth cornering and maintaining traction. The section on 4WD cars, including the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, discusses using controlled drifts to navigate corners aggressively, while warning against losing too much speed from excessive sliding. The page includes screenshots showing each car type in action, illustrating the handling points discussed. This page dives into the details of the beginner course in Sega Rally 2, specifically the desert stage. Described as an all-gravel course, it's wide and forgiving, making it perfect for newcomers to practice core rally techniques like drifting and cornering. The guide highlights that while it's a beginner track, it incorporates all the fundamental skills needed for success in the game, encouraging players to fully experience the fun of Sega Rally 2 here. The course is modeled after a safari rally, featuring spectators and even animals like giraffes lining the track. It's characterized by relatively gentle corners and long straights, embodying the charm of rally racing. The page provides specific tips for navigating key points on the course, marked A, B, C, and D on the included map. Point A advises on handling the first corner by utilizing the grass to avoid standing water and maintain speed. Point B focuses on consecutive corners, suggesting they be tackled as a set, with good timing for drifts to preserve momentum. Point C gives advice on a trickier corner, emphasizing managing speed and using the appropriate technique, like drifting for Mr. Cars or out-and-out for FF, to exit cleanly. Finally, Point D covers the crucial final corner, stressing the importance of the exit line to carry maximum speed onto the final straight towards the finish line. Screenshots illustrate these points, showing car positioning and course features. The overall message is clear. Master the basics on this welcoming course before tackling tougher challenges. This page moves on to the intermediate course in Sega Rally 2, the mountain stage. Described as a technical challenge compared to the beginner stage, this course features many consecutive tight corners and is essential for shaving time off your overall run in the championship. The page notes that mastering this stage is key to improving your position, with a goal of climbing from 11th to 6th place. Specific points on the course are highlighted with tips. Point A suggests treating pairs of corners as a single unit to maintain flow and timing. Point B advises preparing for a hairpin turn, considering the different approaches needed depending on whether you're driving a front-wheel or rear-wheel drive car. Point C focuses on a particularly difficult section, surprisingly stating that the handbrake isn't needed, implying technique over aggressive maneuvers is key here. Finally, Point D covers another hairpin, emphasizing the critical importance of knowing and executing the correct racing line to carry speed through and out of the corner. Screenshots throughout the page show these specific points on the course, illustrating the car's position and the visual cues players should look for. Overall, the page reinforces that success on the mountain course requires precise technique and understanding of the racing line, rather than just speed. The next page moves on to the advanced course in Sega Rally 2, the challenging snowy stage. Described as beautiful but deceptive, this course is covered in snow, making the surface conditions unpredictable and slippery. It features numerous difficult corners and demands high precision, aiming to improve your championship rank from 6th to 5th. The guide breaks down key sections of the course to master. Point A emphasizes starting quickly and accurately handling the initial corners, which are deceptively slippery, suggesting the basic in-count line is still effective. Point B stresses the importance of completely memorizing the layout, focusing on maintaining speed through right-hand corners by making fine adjustments with the accelerator and steering. Point C highlights a crucial deceleration zone before a sharp hairpin, noting its difficulty and advising a significant speed reduction through downshifting, and potentially using the handbrake or side brake, similar to techniques needed on the mountain course. Finally, Point D covers the final corners, requiring early reaction, particularly for a tricky small right-hand turn after a gentle curve. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate these critical points, showing the optimal car position and line on the snowy track. Mastering this advanced course is less about raw speed and more about precise control and course knowledge under treacherous conditions. This page details the Superclass Riviera course in Sega Rally 2, the final challenge set on nighttime city streets. It's a public road stage where players must combine all the techniques learned to aim for victory and reach the podium. The course is characterized by long straights leading into tight hairpins and is notable for being a two-lap race, demanding sustained concentration. Side braking is often necessary for the sharp turns. The guide breaks down critical sections. Point A covers the first hairpin, emphasizing side brake use, and downshifting to navigate it effectively. Point B discusses the subsequent series of curves, highlighting the need for precise steering inputs and maintaining rhythm to carry speed through the section. Point C addresses the second hairpin, noting its unique approach compared to the first, requiring significant deceleration and careful maneuvering to set up for the following corner. Screenshots accompany each point, illustrating the recommended car positioning and lines for mastering these tricky parts of the course. This page features an interview with Yoshiki Okamoto, a key figure at Capcom, discussing the company's strategy and upcoming titles for the Dreamcast. He shares his thoughts on Capcom's first two major releases for the console. First up is Power Stone, described as Capcom's confident entry title, prioritizing fun gameplay over strict realism. It's highlighted as a brand new type of game set to launch early in the console's life. Following that is Marvel vs. Capcom, presented as the second major DC title and a highly anticipated arcade port. Okamoto emphasizes Capcom's commitment to bringing their popular arcade fighting games to the platform. He also hints at other potential fighting game migrations, like Project Justice and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, though specific details aren't finalized yet. The article also mentions Resident Evil Code Veronica, but notes that information about it is still scarce at this point. This page clearly lays out Capcom's initial focus for the Dreamcast, centering on their strength in arcade titles and diverse action experiences. This page continues the interview with Capcom's Yoshiki Okamoto, diving deeper into the company's Dreamcast development strategy. Okamoto explains that while they value network capabilities, their core focus is on creating original console software, not just porting arcade titles. He emphasizes that they are actively developing games with this mindset. A major highlight discussed is Resident Evil Code Veronica, presented as a significant console-exclusive project. Okamoto expresses confidence in its quality and confirms that development is progressing well. The page prominently features a render of Claire Redfield, identified as the protagonist, alongside a screenshot from the game, clearly indicating its importance in Capcom's lineup. Okamoto also touches on future plans, hinting at the possibility of developing RPGs and collaborating on projects. He mentions observing other notable titles like Shenmue being developed by other companies, indicating an awareness of the competitive landscape. He reinforces Capcom's commitment to a steady release schedule and briefly acknowledges potential development for PlayStation 2 in the future. The overall message is one of excitement and commitment to delivering a diverse and impressive lineup for the Dreamcast, urging players to be ready for what's coming. This page explodes with vibrant artwork, showcasing a dynamic group of Capcom characters, including the prominent figure in the foreground bathing in light, and the instantly recognizable Chun-Li from Street Fighter. The chaotic but exciting scene suggests a major crossover event. The text proclaims, Capcom Entry 7th Volume, and the long-awaited Dreamcast version screen great public release, immediately building anticipation. Most tellingly, it declares, Versus Action New Era has come, strongly indicating the reveal or further details of a significant new fighting game. Given the array of characters from different series, this page is clearly highlighting a major Capcom crossover fighting title destined for the Dreamcast, heralding what the magazine believes will be a transformative moment for the genre on the console. This page dives deep into Capcom's bold new venture, Power Stone, a 3D versus action game breaking new ground in the genre. The headline declares, "This is Capcom's serious effort, and the future standard of action is here." The game is described as a future standard 3D versus action drama, where players battle in fully 3D arenas, utilizing weapons and special moves. The core mechanic involves collecting the titular Power Stones to power up and unleash devastating attacks. The screenshots showcase the vibrant character select screen featuring fighters like Fokker and Ryoma, as well as dynamic in-game combat across various environments, highlighting the chaotic and interactive nature of the battles. The page also announces the imminent launch of the arcade, Naomi version, with the Dreamcast release planned to follow shortly after. A key selling point highlighted is the simple controls, emphasizing that complex command inputs are unnecessary, allowing for intuitive and free-flowing action. The Dreamcast version details confirm a release date of February 25th, priced at 5,800 yen, and lists the game as 100% complete and ready for launch. Power Stone's gameplay centers on a surprisingly versatile 3-button control scheme: jump, punch, kick. Simple button combinations unleash a variety of actions. Players chain punches and kicks for combos up to 4 hits. The lack of a guard system means direct damage from attacks. Item usage is crucial. Players acquire various weapons like firearms, melee weapons, and explosives from treasure chests scattered throughout the arena. Each item has unique effects and limitations. Combining punch and kick creates contextual actions. This enables environmental interaction, grabbing and throwing objects or opponents, and performing special moves such as wall kicks and ledge grabs. The game's design allows for dynamic reactions to the battles, offering a surprising depth of freedom. This page delves deeper into the action mechanics of Power Stone, focusing on strategic movement and environmental factors. Since there's no traditional guard, evasion is crucial. Players can perform an escape dodge to avoid attacks by pressing a direction while facing the opponent. Jump attacks are highlighted as surprisingly important, offering various offensive and defensive uses, with the jump kick specifically homing in on enemies. The game features 8 unique stages, and paying attention to the terrain is vital, as each stage has interactive elements, traps, or hazards that can be exploited or avoided, such as falling objects or destructible environments like glass-yielding items. The page also touches upon the core objective, collecting 3 colored power stones, red, blue, yellow, to transform, drastically altering combat capabilities, with the transformation process being a key strategic element explored further. This page dives into the transformative power unlocked by collecting 3 power stones in the game Power Stones. As mentioned previously, this transformation, called Power Fusion, dramatically enhances a character's capabilities, granting access to devastating special moves. The page highlights 6 of the game's unique fighters and how they change. We see Fokker, the main character, whose transformation allows for rapid-fire projectiles and a powerful aerial attack. Ayame becomes a whirlwind of blades, specializing in quick, multi-hit techniques and a long-range lunge. Gunrock, the heavy hitter, becomes even more formidable, with ground-shaking area effect attacks and reinforced defenses. Wang Tang transforms into a powerful martial artist, gaining incredible speed and devastating techniques like a homing drill kick and a powerful energy blast. Rouge's transformation turns her into a fire-wielding sorceress, launching explosive projectiles and aerial assaults. Finally, Jack becomes a dangerous jester, using tricky movement and projectile attacks that home in on opponents, alongside a large-scale area attack. Each character gains unique P+J and K+J moves in their transformed state, showcased in the screenshots, adding a critical strategic layer to combat once the Power Stones are gathered. This page continues showcasing the vibrant world of Power Stone, highlighting 2 more distinct characters and revealing exciting details about the Dreamcast port and upcoming media. First up is Garuda, classified as a power-type fighter like Gunrock. Garuda's strength lies in powerful grappling techniques. His P+J move involves flying downwards from the air, while K+J is a super powerful stomp. He's a formidable presence, focusing on raw power. Next we see Huang Mao, a samurai skilled with swords. His basic attacks have good reach, and his transformation unleashes a barrage of multi-hit techniques. His P+J move is a devastating forward charge, and K+J involves consecutive slashes from the air, making him deadly at close and mid-range. The page then confirms the decided original elements for the Dreamcast version. Players can expect a faithful arcade mode port of the Naomi version, complete with battles and movie demos. The Versus mode allows players to battle using all characters, including a training option. Importantly, new items are being added to arcade mode. A screenshot shows 1 new item, seemingly a Rui staff, available in the Power Stone collection. Finally, there's exciting news. Power Stone is getting a TV anime adaptation starting in April. The animation is handled by Studio Pierrot, with music by Avex. Additionally, details are given on a VMS minigame titled Fokker's Sky Adventure, where players control Fokker's plane, dodging obstacles and collecting power stones and coins to transform and earn points. This page dives into Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes, highlighting its upcoming release on the Dreamcast as the second major fighting game entry from Capcom. The article poses the question of how faithful the port is to the arcade version, and boasts a massive release of flashy gameplay scenes. The focus is heavily placed on the game's rich attack variations. As an expert on the series, this game is renowned for its high-octane, tag-team combat, featuring characters from both the Marvel and Capcom universes, unleashing over-the-top special moves and devastating hyper combos. The page showcases dynamic screenshots capturing this chaotic energy, including tag-team attacks and powerful finishing moves. The text emphasizes the core fun of the Versus series, particularly the combined attacks with your partner, a signature mechanic that allows for incredible offensive pressure and strategic depth. Visually, the page displays character art alongside gameplay, underscoring the exciting crossover roster. The article aims to verify the visual fidelity of the Dreamcast version and delve into the detailed combat systems. Essential release information, such as the launch date and price, are provided in a summary table on the right side of the page. This page delves deeper into the combat mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes, detailing the various offensive options available to players. It explains the basics, starting with simple button presses for standard attacks, then introduces special moves performed with directional inputs and button combinations. A key feature is the chain combo system, allowing players to link standard attacks together in rapid succession for extended offensive pressure. The concept of the aerial rave is also covered, which are airborne chain combos unique to the Versus series, enabling complex air-to-air or air-to-ground sequences. Beyond basic and special moves, the page highlights hypercombos, the game's ultimate attacks that consume a portion of the hypercombo gauge, dealing massive damage, and often featuring flashy, screen-filling effects. Furthermore, the article touches upon the unique abilities inherent to each character, showcasing examples like Akuma's Raging Demon, or specific character traits that differentiate their playstyles. The screenshots illustrate these techniques in action, featuring characters such as Captain Commando executing a hyper combo, War Machine launching a proton cannon, and Mega Man transforming for his Hyper Rockman attack. The glossary entry defines mutant power, explaining it as the special abilities possessed by mutants in the Marvel Universe, linking it to characters like Wolverine and Onslaught within the game's roster. This guide explores the tag team fighting mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes. Key features include the variable attack, partner attack on switch, variable counter, partner defense, and standard partner swap. The game emphasizes strategic teamwork through the variable combination, a powerful simultaneous hyper combo that requires gauge and character compatibility. The variable cross allows for brief simultaneous control of both characters, creating overwhelming offense. Visuals demonstrate characters performing tag team moves and hyper combos. A glossary entry defines crossover as a fusion of series elements, differentiating it from simple guest appearances, which could disrupt compatibility. Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes features special partners, 20 assist characters players select before a match. These allies, from both Marvel and Capcom universes, offer unique support abilities. Examples include Arthur, Ghosts, Ungoblins, with lance attacks, Michelle Hart, Legendary Wings, providing three-way shots, and Tun Poo, Strider Hiryu, unleashing slashes. Marvel characters, like Juggernaut and Magneto, utilize powerful attacks. Other notable assists are Saki, Quiz Nanero Dreams, with anti-air beams, Devilot, Cyberbots, with quick attacks, and various X-Men like Thor with electrical sparks. Each character contributes a distinct fighting style and strategic element to the battles. This page features an urgent report on the Dreamcast title, Maken X, highlighting how character designs by the renowned Kazuma Kaneko, known for his work on the Shin Megami Tensei series, are brought to life using polygons. The article focuses on the heroine, Sagami Kai, showcasing her 3D model. Developed by Atlas, the creators behind the successful Shin Megami Tensei franchise, Maken X is an action-adventure game that aims to utilize the power of the Dreamcast hardware to render Kaneko's distinctive character art with high fidelity. The polygon model of Sagami K is presented, noting its impressive detail and accuracy compared to the original illustrations. Even while still under development, the character is depicted wearing a unique, orange dress, reminiscent of traditional Chinese attire. The page also includes a standard table listing game details, such as the publisher, Atlas, genre, adventure, and current development status, indicating it is still in progress as of the report date. A small note points out that while the models capture facial expressions well, weapons are not shown in these particular renders. This page continues the focus on Atlas's action game, Maken X, delving deeper into the dynamic 3D character animations. Following the previous page's introduction of the heroine Sagami Kai and her high-quality polygon model, this spread showcases her impressive combat abilities using a polearm. The page highlights how the game brings the character illustrations to life through diverse and impactful actions. It features two specific combat techniques demonstrated with sequential images, like animation frames. The first is a rapid thrust, depicted across 11 frames, showing a swift forward lunge designed to close distance and strike from a deceptive low stance. The accompanying text explains its speed and reach, making it a sudden attack. The second technique is a powerful kick, also shown through 11 frames. This move involves spinning the body, utilizing centrifugal force for a devastating strike, potentially using the polearm for leverage. The description notes, it's a forceful blow that sends the user away from the target upon completion, highlighting its effectiveness and visual flair. Complementing the action sequences are two small screenshots giving a glimpse of the varied environments where these maneuvers occur, suggesting diverse combat locations. The page effectively demonstrates the fluidity and impact of Sagami Kai's movements in Maken X, building upon the previous page's focus on her character model fidelity by showcasing her in action. This page dives into the gameplay mechanics and world of Atlus's unique action title, Maken X, building upon the character focus from the previous page. It highlights the core combat system, explaining the autofocus lock-on feature that helps players manage multiple enemies and execute evasive maneuvers like dodging behind foes. The page also details the game's signature mechanic, Brainjack. This ability allows the Maken, the sentient weapon wielded by the protagonists, to possess the bodies of various characters encountered in the game world. Possessing a new body grants different abilities and fighting styles, fundamentally changing gameplay. The concept of image is also introduced, described as a spiritual energy or essence perceived by the Maken, crucial for the Brainjack process. Beyond combat, the page showcases the diverse environments players will explore. It emphasizes the detailed 3D polygon stages, featuring significant height differences and perspective to enhance immersion. The game's global scope is highlighted, with landscapes varying greatly to reflect the different countries the story visits, from natural vistas like valleys and mountains to detailed city streets. Indoor environments are also shown, promising intricate and atmospheric locations filled with unique architectural details. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate these mechanics and locations, showing possessed characters in action and glimpses of the game's varied world design. This page moves on to showcase some of the unique characters from Atlus's action game, Maken X, highlighting the distinctive designs by Kazuma Kaneko brought to life in 3D. The focus here is on members of the Sangukai, a powerful crime syndicate from Hong Kong who serve as antagonists. They are revealed to be a faction of the ancient Hokuto clan, a group tasked with protecting the world's balance. We get a look at several enemy types encountered, including a striking figure skilled with a pole weapon, a powerful character boasting a massive cannon integrated into their arm, a grotesque fighter with a spider-like transformation, and a swift swordsman. Their appearances are highly stylized and memorable, embodying the game's dark and intricate aesthetic. A sidebar delves into the lore, discussing the character Li Fei Cao, a Hokuto swordsman and relative of the heroine, who was tragically killed by the Hokuto military group. It questions the relationship between Li, the main Hokuto family, and the Sangukai faction, suggesting a complex history and internal conflict within the clan that ties into the game's narrative. This page is a special report announcing a new title, specifically highlighting a crossover between the iconic Mobile Suit Gundam and Armored Trooper Votoms franchises. The main image prominently features the RX-782 Gundam, alongside a blue variant of the ATM-09 Street Scope Dog, with other standard Scope Dogs shown descending via parachute in the background. On the left, profile images confirm the specific models depicted, the RX-782 Gundam and the ATM-09 Street Scope Dog. The title of the piece, That Gundam, and strongly suggests that this new title is a video game that will bring these two distinct mecha universes together. This page continues the exciting reveal from the previous spread, focusing on a new Dreamcast title tentatively called Sunrise Heroes Chronicle. This game is announced as the first project from Sunrise's newly established game division, Sunrise Interactive. As an expert gamer familiar with the legacies of franchises like Mobile Suit Gundam and Armored Trooper Votoms, seeing these distinct robot universes collide in a single game is incredible. The page confirms that Sunrise Heroes Chronicle will feature robots from numerous Sunrise robot anime series. Furthermore, the page reveals a brand new original mecha designed by the legendary Kunio Okawara, known for his iconic Gundam designs. This new machine is called the Flying Trooper and is stated to appear in the game, originating from a seemingly new element within the game titled Mobile Armor Chronicle Claudia, tentative. The inclusion of original designs alongside fan favorites suggests a rich, expansive universe for this game. The development status is early, but the potential for a dream collaboration of Sunrise's robot roster is clearly highlighted with great excitement. This page delves into the graphical and genre aspirations of a new robot game, likely the previously discussed Sunrise Heroes Chronicle. The focus is on achieving realism, detailing how CG models are created based on detailed physical prototypes. Featured prominently are images of the iconic RX-782 Gundam and the Scope Dog from Armored Trooper Votoms, illustrating the visual fidelity being targeted. The text highlights the effort to reproduce subtle details and shading in the 3D polygon models. Furthermore, it discusses the game's genre and the exciting prospect of numerous robots and their pilots appearing, referencing the crossover potential between series like Gundam and Votoms through terms like new type versus perfect soldier. This page emphasizes the game's commitment to bringing these beloved mecha to life with a high degree of visual accuracy. This page features an insightful interview and a production report related to Sunrise's venture into the gaming industry. The main section includes an interview titled, New Challenge from Anime to Games, direct interview with Sunrise, Atelier Sai. Here, Sunrise Interactive Managing Director Shoji Tsukada and Atelier Sai producer Yoshikazu Maeda discuss Sunrise's motivations for entering the game market and establishing a dedicated interactive division. They highlight the growing importance of interactive media for their content and explain their approach to game development, emphasizing originality and delivering experiences that meet fan expectations. Complementing the interview is a report titled Peeking into Atelier Sai's Workshop, 3D Model Production Site Report. This section delves into the technical side, detailing how the game's 3D models are being created. It reveals that the team utilizes methods similar to building physical garage kits, creating highly detailed prototypes before scanning or modeling them digitally. The report includes photos showcasing a physical model of the iconic RX-782 Gundam and its component parts, demonstrating the meticulous attention to detail aimed at achieving a high level of realism in the game's graphics. This ties directly into the previous page's discussion about the graphical fidelity and robotic models being developed for the game, confirming that properties like Gundam, and potentially others such as Votoms, are being brought to life with impressive visual accuracy. This page continues the discussion on graphical fidelity and model production for Sunrise's game project. The interview, titled Commitment to Robot Graphics, features Shoji Tsukada and Yoshikazu Maeda, who elaborate on the development process. They explain that their approach to creating detailed robot models, like the iconic RX-782 Gundam and a Zaku 2 pictured, is akin to methods used in Hollywood productions, emphasizing high-quality graphics achieved through techniques like scanning detailed physical models. They aim to include at least 50 different robots in the game. Maeda touches on the challenge of balancing the original anime designs with the requirements of polygon models, noting that while rooted in the anime, the game models require specific adjustments for 3D presentation. The lower section provides a production report, detailing the steps involved in creating these physical models before digitization. It shows the process starting from design drawings, moving to creating individual parts, correcting imperfections using materials like putty, and finally assembling key sections, such as the body and head, to check for proper balance. A photo of Yoshikazu Maeda holding model parts highlights this hands-on approach to ensuring accuracy and detail in the models, reinforcing the meticulous effort going into the game's visual assets. The next page delves further into Sunrise's ambitious game projects, specifically discussing Armored Century Claudia, tentative name, and Sunrise Hero Tales, tentative name, with developers Shoji Tsukada and Yoshikazu Maeda. They confirm that the robot designs, including the impressive Zaku 2 featured prominently, are handled by the legendary Kunio Okawara. The focus here is on Sunrise Hero Tales, described as a game project blending elements from past Sunrise mecha series like Mobile Suit Gundam and Armored Trooper Votoms into a new genre. The goal is to create a major title that appeals to both anime and game fans. They are utilizing detailed physical models, as discussed previously, which are then scanned and refined into high-quality polygon models for the game, aiming for visual fidelity comparable to Hollywood productions. Character representation is planned to incorporate a cel animation style. The page also shows the process of converting the physical models into computer data, demonstrating the meticulous digital sculpting required. A dynamic screenshot hinting at potential in-game battles is also included. Finally, there's a feature on Atelier Sai, a hobby shop that specializes in garage kits and figures, likely a relevant spot for fans interested in the mecha designs showcased in the interview. This page features a scoop on Sega's new high-speed racing title, Super Speed Racing. This game, known internationally as Kart Flag to Flag, is Sega's second racing game for the platform, and focuses on the thrilling world of kart racing. The magazine highlights the game's realism, stating it boasts accurate car behavior and a powerful sense of speed thanks to full cooperation with the Championship Auto Racing Team's organization. Players can expect speeds reaching up to 400 kilometers per hour, with meticulous detail put into recreating the precise handling, engine sounds, and balance of the kart machines. Screenshots show intense open-wheel racing action on detailed road courses, capturing the look and feel of the real-life series. The page also includes a brief section explaining what kart is, mentioning its origins, high speeds, around 385 kilometers per hour in reality, and popularity, particularly in America, emphasizing that the game aims to recreate its excitement. This Sega-developed title supports multiplayer racing and is a must-play for fans of realistic motorsport simulations. The next page continues the preview of Kart Flag to Flag, highlighting more details about its realistic recreation of the racing experience. The game aims to faithfully reproduce the diverse tracks found in the kart series, including the signature high-speed oval courses, traditional road circuits, and challenging street courses, totaling an impressive 19 different layouts. This variety ensures players will face many different racing challenges. Adding to the realism, the game features up to 20 cars on track simultaneously, promising intense pack racing and close competition. A significant focus is placed on the audio, with emphasis on the powerful exhaust notes of the kart machines. The magazine states that these sounds were recorded directly from a real kart car, driven by a past series champion, suggesting a highly authentic soundscape. Screenshots show the various track types and perspectives, including a cockpit view, allowing players to truly immerse themselves in the high-speed world of kart racing. This page continues the preview of Kart Flag to Flag, focusing on the teams and drivers featured in the game. The main heading declares 17 teams, 27 drivers, and a subtitle explains that the magazine obtained many screenshots, allowing them to check out 12 teams and their machines. The text notes that the game uses real driver names and mentions that although Kart and Frong 1 are separate, many drivers have connections, making it easy for Frong 1 fans to get into. The page then highlights several prominent teams with screenshots of their cars in action and brief descriptions. We see Target/Chip Ganassi Racing, described for their rise to the top in '96. Newman/Haas Racing is featured, noted for their long history and multiple championships. PacWest Racing Group gets a mention for their strong, unpredictable performance the previous year. Team Cool Green is highlighted, with commentary on the owner's emphasis on developing young talent. Finally, Peyton/Coin Racing is shown, described as a team that leverages experience and provides opportunities for rookies. The screenshots showcase different cars on various track types seen in the game. This page continues the deep dive into the teams featured in Kart Flag to Flag, reinforcing the previous page's point about the game using real names. Here, we get a closer look at several more prominent teams from the kart series. You can see detailed breakdowns for Team Rahal, highlighting their recent struggles with technical changes. Marlboro Team Penske is featured, rightly acknowledged, as a legendary team with a history of dominance in IndyCar. We also see Davis Racing, noted for their success in the Indy Lights feeder series before stepping up to kart. Tasman Motorsports is shown, described as a relatively new team that evolved from Hall Racing. All American Racers gets a nod, recognized as a founding member of the kart series itself. Della Penna Motorsports is included, detailing their establishment in the early 90s. And finally, Bettenhausen is highlighted, mentioning their long history since the mid-80s and significant winnings. The screenshots across the page showcase these different teams' cars on various tracks, giving a good sense of the visual variety players can expect in the game. It's clear the developers put effort into including a wide array of actual teams, making the game feel authentic to the kart experience. This page introduces a new Dreamcast title called Guru Guru Onsen, positioning it as a connecting game, primarily focused on communication using the internet rather than just online battles. The main theme is making friends online, aiming for 100 friends. A key feature highlighted is the visually enhanced communication function, which allows players to create and customize their own avatar, referred to as My Own Self, using various parts. Screenshots showcase some examples of these customizable characters, which appear chibi-like and expressive. The page also includes interviews with the development staff, discussing the concept behind Guru Guru Onsen and the potential they see in it as a communication tool rather than just a competitive game. They emphasize how players can use the platform to connect and socialize. The page gives a general release window of early summer, but the price is undecided. It notes the game supports multiplayer, specifying that a mode called Communication War of Napoleon supports 5 players, while others support up to 4. The next page dives deeper into the gameplay offerings within the Onsen communication platform. It confirms that the service will include a variety of classic games designed for multiple players, aiming to foster social interaction rather than just competitive play. They're even attempting to incorporate numerous local rule variations for these games. The lineup includes staples like Mahjong and Shogi, both presented with the charming chibi avatars seen previously. The card game selection is robust, featuring Dai Hin Min, also known as Big Rich Man or Dai Fugo, Napoleon, Sequence, 7 Bridges, and Solitaire for single-player fun. Screenshots show the avatars actively engaged in these games, highlighting the visual presentation. The page reinforces the idea of onsen as a communication tool. It includes interview segments discussing how the platform differentiates itself by prioritizing connection and friendship building over pure gameplay competition. They touch upon practical aspects like handling player interactions online and give an update on the development status, indicating it's still in testing phase but progressing well. It's clear the focus is on creating a social hub where games are the activity around which communication revolves. The next page features an exclusive report on a new title, the 4th in a series of such reports. The large text proclaims, "Running fast is the pursuit of exhilaration, pushed to the extreme limit." The article previews a highly anticipated bike racing game arriving on Dreamcast. Its core concepts are world-class graphical quality and a focus on simple and exhilarating speed, promising a high-speed superbike race with stunning graphics. The backstory section provides a fictional context for the game's world. It describes how in the early 21st century, a new material called Redline revolutionized sports suits, especially rider suits, providing exceptional safety. This led to the development of superbikes capable of 300 kilometers per hour, giving birth to this popular worldwide racing event. The image vividly captures this focus on speed, with a dynamic, motion-blurred shot of a motorcyclist leaning sharply into a turn. Additional motorcycles are visible on the track in the background, emphasizing the racing environment. An information box confirms the game's details, including its development by Criterion Studios and publication by Imagineer Company Limited, identifying it as a racing title. Based on the developer, this game is internationally known as Burnout. This page continues the preview of Redline Racer, known internationally as Burnout. The article highlights the game's focus on running through challenging terrain, emphasizing that the core concept is simple, exhilarating speed in a bike race. It boasts beautiful graphics thanks to the Dreamcast hardware, and mentions various course types like sandy, snowy, and mountainous areas, offering diverse environments beyond typical circuits. The replay mode is a notable feature, changing camera angles every time you watch, ensuring that viewing the race again provides a fresh perspective and excitement. Screenshots show the game in action on a coastal track, a street circuit rendered with detailed polygons, and demonstrate the dynamic camera angles in the replay mode, promising captivating views. This page dives deeper into the gameplay of Burnout, highlighting the 3 core modes: Tournament, Single Race, and Battle Mode. The Tournament is presented as the main event, challenging players to progress through increasingly difficult courses, unlocking new tracks and faster bikes along the way. Single Race mode is all about pure speed, focusing on achieving the best times on individual tracks, while Battle mode offers head-to-head racing specifically designed for 2 players. The article confirms that the replay mode, mentioned previously, is available in all modes, offering dynamic camera angles for a fresh viewing experience after the race. It also introduces the player customization aspect, where you select both a rider, male or female, with cosmetic differences like fall animations and sounds, and a bike. Bikes have 4 key stats: maximum speed, acceleration, grip, and handling, which determine their performance. One of the initial bikes, the Avanti, is highlighted as a well-balanced machine suitable for players of all skill levels. Screenshots show the game's vibrant environments and racing action across different course types, emphasizing the varied terrains players will encounter. This page delves further into the modes of Redline Racers, expanding on the Single Race and Battle mode introduced previously. Single Race is highlighted as the ultimate time attack challenge, pushing players to master courses over 3 laps and shave off precious seconds. You choose from tracks and bikes unlocked in the tournament, with CPU opponents present to add challenge and act as obstacles. The article emphasizes the replay mode's utility here, not just for watching cool rides, but for analyzing lines and finding ways to improve lap times. The Battle mode section focuses on the head-to-head action for 2 players, utilizing a split-screen display. Like single race, players select their course and bike from those earned in the tournament. CPU competitors also join the fray, making it a race for the top spot, not just against each other. Replay is also available here to relive the action, and the article notes the satisfaction of winning and the frustration of defeat. The page also introduces 2 specific bikes from the roster. The Firestar is described as excelling in handling and stability, making it the most balanced choice among the initial 3 bikes. Its distinctive feature is a dual exhaust on one side. The Tiger Shark, in contrast, is built purely for top speed and is recommended for more experienced riders who can tame its power. Both bikes are shown in rendered images alongside their wireframe models. This page unveils a new horror-adventure title from Koei for the Dreamcast. Set within an eerie mansion, the game promises a tense and terrifying story exploring themes of global collapse and the fight for survival. A major highlight is the inclusion of what the article claims is the first ever 2-player simultaneous co-op mode in an adventure game. Produced by Kushibusawa, the game draws upon the world established in 7 Secret Mansions, Trembling Smile, presenting a new entry for the DC platform with a brand new system. The report notes the game is currently 50% complete and aiming for a summer release. This page continues the exploration of Koei's new horror-adventure title for the Dreamcast, titled 7 Secret Mansions, Trembling Smile. The focus here is primarily on the innovative pair combination system, a core feature highlighted by the article. This system allows 2 players to simultaneously control the game's male and female protagonists. The article details how players can either work together closely, using the pair combination, or split up and act independently via the pair control mode. When players separate, the screen dynamically splits, often vertically, to show both characters' perspectives as they navigate the environment. This mechanic is presented as a key element that not only adds strategic depth, enabling players to tackle puzzles or threats from different angles, but also influences the narrative, leading to different story developments depending on how the players interact and cooperate or separate. Screenshots on the page depict gameplay showing the 2 characters moving through interior locations, demonstrating the split-screen view. Portraits of the male and female leads are also featured, alongside text emphasizing the theme of venturing alone while hoping for your partner's safety. This system promises a unique, cooperative adventure experience. This page delves deeper into 7 Secret Mansions, Trembling Smile, setting the stage for its horror narrative on a beautiful southern island hiding a sinister mansion. Players must unravel the mysteries within each room to uncover the truth behind the strange events. The page also introduces the cast, highlighting 8 key characters. Prominently featured are the protagonist, Kei Asuka, a sharp and decisive university student, the heroine, Reina Hikawa, curious and related to a central family, and Ernest McPherson, Reina's father, and a pivotal character in the plot. Brief profiles provide details on their backgrounds and personalities. Screenshots offer glimpses into the mansion's eerie interiors, teasing the puzzles and horrors that await. This page kicks off with a report on the Koei production announcement event for 7 Secret Mansions, Trembling Smile. The event introduced the game, its staff, and the theme song. The report highlights the strong staff involved and mentions that 2 other titles will be revealed on the next page. Below, a terrifying monster created through genetic manipulation is featured, named Valgar. Described as infected with a new virus and having a red eye, it's implied to be a significant threat within the game. The page also introduces 5 new characters: Alan McPherson, Christy McPherson, Richard Lancaster, Tatiana Baliankofu, and Georg Schneider. Each is shown with a brief profile. The big question posed is how these new individuals will become involved with the protagonist Kei and the heroine Reina, hinting at their crucial roles in the unfolding horror. This page continues the report from the Koei production announcement, revealing 2 significant titles coming to the Dreamcast. First up is Nobunaga's Ambition, Shousei Power-Up Kit. This version includes a unified map of Japan for managing both internal affairs and warfare simultaneously. Key additions for the DC include new scenarios, events, and an edit mode to customize warrior and castle data. Screenshots show the strategic map view and a battle scene. Following is Romance of the Three Kingdoms 6, described as a strategic simulation aiming to unify China during the 2nd-3rd century. This installment offers a deep simulation experience focusing on diplomacy and war. The DC version boasts enhanced presentation, numerous historical events, and scenarios that can change based on player actions. Screenshots showcase character portraits, event scenes like a historical meeting, and tactical battle encounters, promising a rich historical simulation experience on the Dreamcast. This page features the Dreamers Club tentative section, specifically the Readers Chat Corner, which collects submissions from readers about various topics, not just games. It includes personal experiences, failures, surprising events, and stories about interesting friends. The page contains several reader contributions. One submission is from the magazine's guide character, Cow, discussing acquiring a large purchase, likely hardware, attending a Dreamcast fan event, and the growing network connectivity among readers via BBS and online forums. Another interesting piece is a translation of a letter from a German Sega fan, expressing their passion for Sega and seeking male friends among Japanese fans. There's also a touching story about a 5-year-old child's belief in Santa Claus during a kindergarten Christmas party, and a short note about a sibling's terrible cooking, along with a mention of the Sega Saturn console. The page also features a section of reader-submitted illustrations and short manga strips, covering humorous daily life situations, gaming-related scenarios, and various character sketches, adding a visual flair to the reader contributions. This page compiles reader contributions about Sega consoles. The Saturn Gallery displays fan art, including art inspired by the Wizardry series and other fantasy characters. Voice of the Dreamers showcases Dreamcast fan requests. Readers desire sequels or ports of Saturn titles like Panzer Dragoon, praising its gameplay and atmosphere, and requesting features such as full voice acting. Other desired titles include Tenchi Muyo, Money Idol Exchanger, Kakugo no Susume, and Puyo Puyo. The DRKURA Council discusses the Dreamcast's launch success. Opinions are divided, with 40% considering it a success and 60% a failure. The primary concern is the perceived lack of compelling software after launch, despite strong initial hardware sales, hindering broader appeal. This page continues with reader contributions for the Dreamcast. The top section features the Reader Opinion column, where fans share their thoughts on Dreamcast and Saturn games. Readers offer suggestions, requests, and express praise or criticism for various titles. Comments highlight appreciation for games like Sonic Adventure's visuals, despite some gameplay reservations, and the depth of titles like Panzer Dragoon Saga and even Burst Error. There are also requests for specific genres, such as more diverse love simulation games, including those appealing to female players or those who appreciate both male and female characters. The bottom section is the Dreamcast Art Gallery, showcasing fan-submitted illustrations. The art features characters from several Dreamcast titles, including the RPG Evolution, the dark fantasy action game Berserk, the dungeon crawler Time Stalkers, known as Climax Landers in Japan, and the psychic fighting game Psychic Force. Each piece includes a caption from the artist, reflecting their enthusiasm for the games and characters they depicted. This page highlights fan contributions celebrating classic strategy and RPG games. The first section focuses on Dragon Force, showcasing art and messages praising its characters, world, and challenging gameplay. Fans share artwork depicting characters like Shen, Shiroku, Khalil, and Leon, and express appreciation for the game's depth and dynamic battles. Following this, dedicated sections feature Sakura Wars and Shining Force. The Sakura Wars section presents fan art of characters like Sumire Kanzaki, reflecting the series' popularity. The Light and Darkness Synchronicity Shining Force section features art of characters, including Julian, and celebrates the series' fantasy setting. These contributions, along with personal messages, demonstrate the enduring fan love for these beloved games. This page is packed with fan contributions and community features, continuing the theme from the previous page, but branching out into other games. The top section, Master's Little House, showcases vibrant fan art from various contributors, depicting both original characters and potentially characters from different games. The comments accompanying each piece offer insights into the artist's thoughts and inspirations, sometimes hinting at specific game themes or mechanics, like a master system. Below this, the leader's Q&A dives into fan questions seeking guidance on game strategy. Fans are looking for help with tackling challenging puzzles in titles like Gulliver Boy and Kakusei, needing dating strategy for Kakusei, or asking about walkthroughs for games such as Pia Carrot 2 and Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse IV. It's clear the community is actively engaging with these games and helping each other overcome obstacles. This week's First Timers section introduces new contributors to the community, featuring their artwork and messages, with one entry mentioning the Farland Saga series. Finally, the Dora Fan Suggestion Box allows fans to share their opinions and hopes. Contributors express desires for games like Ogre Battle and Langrisser series to be ported to the Dreamcast, offer feedback on titles like Virtua Fighter and Tokimeki Memorial, and provide general suggestions for the magazine. This section highlights the passionate connection fans have with their favorite series and their hopes for the future of gaming on the platform. The page also includes standard rules for submitting artwork and letters. This page features a reader survey offering a chance to win video game prizes. Readers are encouraged to answer questions about their gaming habits, preferences, and demographics on a postcard to enter. The prizes for this month include Dreamcast software like the arena brawler Power Stone, the crossover fighting game Marvel vs. Capcom, the visual novel Kita-hi, White Illumination, and the 3D fighter Psychic Force 2012. Additionally, Sega Saturn fans have a chance to win the visual novel Friends, Seishun no Kagayaki, or the arcade compilation Dungeons & Dragons collection. The survey covers various aspects from preferred game genres and difficulty to console ownership and spending habits. Instructions are also provided on the correct way to fill out the postcard for submission. This page presents several lists that readers could reference when filling out the survey from the previous page. These lists cover various aspects of the magazine's content and the gaming landscape at the time. Table 1 details the articles featured in this issue, including cover stories, main features on new titles, and ongoing serials, along with strategy guides for both Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games. Table 2 provides a list of other gaming magazines, while Table 3 lists various game consoles, from the Dreamcast and PlayStation to older systems like the PC Engine, and even handhelds like the Game Boy and WonderSwan. Table 4 lists specific game titles that readers might have played. The most interesting section for gamers is Table 5, which previews upcoming Sega Saturn and Dreamcast titles scheduled for release after January 28th. This extensive list includes many highly anticipated games, some still under tentative names. Among the recognized titles are Grandia 2, Get Base, a Dungeons & Dragons collection, Marvel vs. Capcom, Power Stone, and Rayman 2, The Great Escape. The sheer number and variety of games here highlight the exciting future library for both platforms, particularly the Dreamcast, which was just getting started. This page offers tips and tricks for several Dreamcast and Saturn games. In Virtua Fighter 3 TB, use auto difficulty in training mode for adaptive learning, and hold start to change the background. Noel 3's voice skip mode is activated by a button sequence on the title screen for quick scene advancement. Capcom Generation 5 unlocks content, including sound remixes and Street Fighter titles, and a Super Versus mode. Mobile Suit Gundam Giran's Greed reveals hidden special data by holding X, Y, Z, and L, then pressing Start. Readers are encouraged to submit their own tips. The next page is a strategy guide for Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, presented as the second part of a series. The main headline indicates it's aimed at players struggling to clear Mission A, highlighting key points. The guide continues the walkthroughs for Sonic and Tails, covering various action sequences including shooting and kart racing. It also previews upcoming guides for Knuckles, Amy, and the KO system. The article details the progress made in each character's story. Sonic's playthrough is 55% complete, focusing on events after the Egg Carrier and stages like Twinkle Park and Speed Highway. Tails' section is 60% complete, covering his solo journey through areas like Mystic Ruins and Sand Hill. Knuckles is 30% through his story, starting in Station Square and involving emerald hunting in areas like Casino Resort. Amy's progress is at 20%, following her escape from Eggman's robots and adventures in Twinkle Park. There's also a section dedicated to the KO system, discussing raising, evolution, and different types of KO. A highlight of this installment is the collection of 52 emblems. The page features character art for Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Akea, along with a small image of Amy joining the adventure. This page offers a comprehensive guide to completing remaining tasks and finding secrets within Station Square in Sonic Adventure. It acts as a checklist to ensure you haven't missed anything after progressing through various action stages like Ice Cap, Twinkle Park, Windy Valley, and Casino Resort. The guide provides clear instructions on how to acquire important items, such as the crystal ring from the hotel lobby, the employee card, the Lightspeed shoes from the shopping district, and the golden egg found in City Hall's garden. It also points out the locations of several hidden emblems, explaining which character abilities, like Tails' flight or subweapon, are needed to reach them. You'll learn how to access the Station Square KO Garden, meet Big the Cat, and break the barricade blocking the entrance to Speed Highway. The page touches upon key story points, including the sequence following Casino Resort involving chasing Eggman and battling Chaos, and notes where character reunions occur. A detailed map of Station Square accompanies the text, visually indicating the areas discussed. This page delves into the secrets and challenges awaiting players in the Mystic Ruins area of Sonic Adventure. It provides a visual guide with a map of the region and detailed tips for progression. The content covers various points of interest within Mystic Ruins, including mysterious locations, hidden switches, and where to find key items like the Silver Emerald. It explains how to acquire the Windstone and use it to open new paths within a cave, potentially leading to Windy Valley. The guide also pinpoints the locations of various emblems hidden throughout the area, such as one accessible via Tails' flight ability on a cliff face, and another near the train station, perhaps requiring Big the Cat's unique perspective. Speaking of Big the Cat, the guide even touches upon the owner of the fishing spot, identifying him as Big. Additionally, it offers strategic advice for boss encounters that take place here, providing pointers on how to defeat Eggman's Egg Hornet, and how to tackle the battle against Knuckles. Finally, the page highlights the discovery of the Mystic Ruins KO Garden, accessible by riding a specific train car, allowing players to explore this new lush environment. A progression chart on the side indicates the sequence of events and stages for different characters, like Sonic and Tails, as they move through Mystic Ruins. The next page dives straight into the aerial action of Sonic Adventure, detailing the intense, sudden dogfight, and then the two-part ways sequence. It focuses on the journey Tails takes in the tornado to confront Eggman on his flying fortress, the Egg Carrier, following the events in Mystic Ruins. The page is broken down into two main sections, guiding players through the aerial challenges. The first covers the area before reaching the Egg Carrier, showing Tails flying the tornado and encountering initial waves of enemy planes. The guide provides visual cues and text hints on where enemies appear and how many there are, helping players anticipate attacks. The second section covers the area above the Egg Carrier, where the dogfighting intensifies. This segment, highlighted as Sky Chase Act 1, emphasizes that enemy patterns are fixed. The page provides numerous screenshots and descriptions detailing specific enemy formations, their locations from the right, left, above, below, or clouds, and quantities. It stresses the importance of learning these patterns and efficiently using the lock-on target system to quickly destroy threats, especially missiles, to ensure a safe passage and successful approach to Eggman's formidable airship. This page continues the guide for Sonic Adventure, picking up after Tails' Sky Chase, with a section detailing Eggman's direct attack on Tails from the Egg Carrier using a powerful laser. The guide then shifts focus to other areas of the game. First, it explains that clearing Sky Chase Act 1 unlocks the minigame version in the trial mode, allowing players to earn emblems. It highlights that the layout in the trial mode is the same for both Sonic and Tails. Next, the page covers the sequence in Station Square, mentioning the chase involving Eggman's Robot Zero and Sonic's encounter with Amy. Finally, a significant portion is dedicated to the kart racing section in Twinkle Park, offering tips on how to optimize speed and shorten completion times. Key advice includes quickly getting into the kart, using the kart itself to clear obstacles called kart kiki, and mastering cornering techniques. The guide emphasizes using an out-and-out line through turns and controlling speed primarily through accelerator work, avoiding hitting walls or other obstacles to maintain momentum. It also points out the location of dash panels for speed boosts. This page continues the detailed strategy guide for the Twinkle Park kart race in Sonic Adventure, picking up where the previous page left off. It breaks down the track into two main sections, from the area after the initial jump ramps to before the double loop, and then from after the double loop straight through to the finish line. The guide provides specific tactics for navigating the course efficiently. It advises players to avoid the smaller jump ramps in the early section to maintain speed and control through tight corners, emphasizing precise acceleration control rather than braking. It explains how to effectively use the speed panels for boosts, and gives tips on how to use the kart itself to deal with the kart obstacles, kart kiki, blocking the track. For the latter half of the race, the guide discusses strategies for a large jump near the end, suggesting that hitting the final speed panel before the jump is crucial for maximizing speed. It also points out that a catapult section might not be as helpful as it seems, and strongly recommends taking the lower path at a branching point to ensure a faster, safer route compared to the unstable upper path. Finally, it offers advice on steering input for the final corner before the goal, highlighting the importance of small, precise adjustments to avoid falling off the track. The page includes screenshots illustrating the different sections and obstacles discussed. This page provides strategic insights for different areas within Sonic Adventure. It begins with an overview of Twinkle Park, introducing the Twinkle Circuit Kart race accessible from the entrance, and detailing how players can earn emblems for completing the race and achieving a fast time, noting it's also playable in trial mode. A course map for the Twinkle Circuit is included, alongside specific tips like executing a rocket start, navigating tight corners, and managing speed. The guide then transitions to the Station Square area, explaining how to progress by finding an employee card near a tree to gain access to a building via a shutter. The main focus shifts to the Speed Highway action stage. The guide highlights the importance of maintaining speed throughout the level. It offers crucial tips, such as avoiding the spin dash in the initial tunnel in favor of wall running or ground dashing, the ability to jump even while running on building walls to overcome obstacles, and the necessity of staying on the sidewalks to avoid dangerous traffic on the roadways. A section is dedicated to clearing the stage quickly for Mission A, suggesting the use of shortcut routes. Further tips cover utilizing spinners for aerial platforming and hitting springs and dash panels effectively to reach the goal. The page features multiple screenshots illustrating these various tactics and locations within both Twinkle Park and Speed Highway. This page dives into Tails' solo adventure in Sonic Adventure after getting separated from Sonic. It explains that Tails needs to find Chaos Emeralds on his own, starting in the Mystic Ruins. Players will need to get on a trolley to move through the jungle, chase a strange frog into a cave, hit a switch, and open the path to the Sandhill stage. The focus then shifts to Sandhill gameplay, highlighting the core mechanic of flying through gates within a time limit to increase your score multiplier. Clearing the stage quickly and achieving over 10,000 points are noted as requirements for earning emblems. A course map for Sandhill is provided, indicating the location of gates, dash panels, and jump ramps, along with a suggested route. Helpful tips cover specific strategies, such as choosing the tricky left route near the goal for a potentially faster finish, and how to effectively use dash panels for controlled speed boosts rather than just hitting them blindly. The page also contrasts the Sandhill experience for Tails versus Sonic, noting that the beginner course for Tails has fewer obstacles and gates, making it easier, while Sonic's technical course is more challenging with many gates, ideal for skilled players aiming for high scores. Screenshots illustrate progression in Mystic Ruins and gameplay in Sandhill for both characters. This guide provides a walkthrough for Casinopolis and the Chaos 2 boss fight in Sonic Adventure. It details how to access Casinopolis from Station Square via a high-wire slide and emphasizes navigating the two-floor stage using the map and springs to explore. The guide points out hidden items and 8 easily missed actions within Casinopolis. After exploring the zone, the guide covers the encounter with Eggman in Station Square, leading to the Chaos 2 boss battle. The strategy focuses on attacking Chaos 2's head when it's in specific forms: ball, split, water, using appropriate attacks, sliding, punches, while evading in other states. Screenshots illustrate boss phases and recommended actions. This page focuses on Amy Rose's gameplay in Sonic Adventure, specifically highlighting her unique playstyle centered around evasion and maintaining speed rather than direct combat. The core strategy, emphasized by the title, "Running Away is Victory, Maintain Dash Speed," is to utilize various techniques to escape enemies like Zero and navigate levels quickly despite Amy's naturally slower pace compared to Sonic. The guide covers strategies for 2 areas: ADF, likely a jungle-themed area leading to Twinkle Park, and Axe, Sandhill. For Sandhill, specific points are detailed, including the optimal method for hitting switches, using reflections in mirrors to your advantage while avoiding getting lost, and temporarily hiding inside pipes to evade pursuit. A key section breaks down how Amy can boost her movement speed, explaining that she can immediately dash after landing from a jump, and demonstrating how continuous hammer jumps can be used to maintain momentum, especially on slopes. This technique is highlighted as crucial for completing the Mission A challenge in Sandhill within the tight 2-minute time limit. Screenshots illustrate Amy interacting with small birds, being chased by Zero, navigating jungle and sand environments, and showcasing gameplay elements like switches, mirrors, and pipes. The overall tone is a guide for mastering Amy's unique approach to clearing stages by prioritizing speed and clever use of mechanics over combat. This page is a comprehensive guide to raising and understanding the evolution of your KO in Sonic Adventure. It covers the basics of interacting with your KO, emphasizing communication, and feeding them fruit. A key aspect is the impact of giving small animals to your KO. This directly influences their stats and physical appearance. Different animal colors boost specific abilities like power, yellow, fly, purple, run, red, and stamina, blue. The guide explains that giving many animals of the same color leads to significant appearance changes, while combining different colored animals can result in unique, multicolored KO. It sternly advises against throwing your KO, highlighting it as detrimental. The page also includes a report on KO racing, showcasing a successful gold KO that performed well, indicating the importance of training speed and stamina. Breeding is mentioned, noting that the offspring inherit stats from their parents. A crucial warning is given about KO dying. They turn into tombstones and cannot be easily reincarnated from an egg, a consequence players should definitely avoid. Finally, there's a note about a preschool feature opening on the Sonic Team website, hinting at online connectivity or sharing options for your chaos. The page features screenshots illustrating KO interactions, the stat system, different KO forms, and a KO race. This page provides a helpful introductory guide for players exploring Evolution, World of Sacred Device. It covers fundamental tips for dungeon exploration, suggesting 5 key points to keep in mind for a wise and successful adventure. The guide also emphasizes the importance of preparation in Panem Town before venturing out, detailing activities such as purchasing necessary items, gathering information, enhancing your character's equipment, called Psyframes, and even finding hidden items scattered throughout the town. A significant section is dedicated to helping players choose their third-party member, as the main characters Mag and Rafinha are always in the party. The 3 potential companions are introduced. Gree, recommended for players needing support abilities, Chain, suggested for those who prefer aggressive direct combat, and Pepper, ideal for players looking to efficiently defeat groups of enemies. Screenshots across the page illustrate various aspects of the game, including interacting in town, menu screens for shopping and enhancement, and dynamic battle scenes featuring the different potential party members, showcasing their combat styles. This guide for Evolution, World of Sacred Device Dungeons, stresses strategic exploration. Don't rush. Thoroughly explore each floor for treasure and experience. Utilize the minimap, which reveals enemy locations and traps via search items. Combat emphasizes positioning. Attacking from behind grants a first strike, while being caught unaware results in a surprise attack. Prioritize actions based on the attack order. The guide also covers traps. Some hurt, others heal. Use search items to find helpful traps. Teleporters, found at boss save points, allow players to return to town for resupply. Use them strategically, not excessively, to avoid slowing down progress. The advice is to use the teleporters after making considerable progress and knowing that deeper floors present tougher enemies. The next page details the monsters encountered in the Heaven's Ruins and Sheol's Ruins, Dungeons in Evolution, World of Sacred Device. It provides a comprehensive bestiary for each dungeon. For each monster listed, you'll find information on their weaknesses and resistances to different attack types and elements like fire, ice, lightning, holy, dark, bug, beast, plant, physical, and magic. It also lists the items that each monster can drop, such as mocha ampules, various nanokelin types, monster-specific drops like Grand Star Shells or Milk Sky Horns, and combat items like firebombs or electric orbs. A separate section explains how to interpret the data, specifically defining weakness and resistance based on the monster's properties, and clarifying that the items listed are those obtainable from the monster. There is also a note about the steal ability, explaining that the first item listed is a guaranteed drop when using steal, while the second and third items are random drops upon defeating the monster. The monsters covered for Heaven's Ruins include Protocalcus, Claymore, Tyrannosaurus, Pigben, Spectra, Grand Star, Milk Sky, and Fum. For Sheol's Ruins, the list includes Paleocarnoids, Henodon, Gunbass, Archaeopteryx, Milipede, Bacterio, Crinoid, Peribatas, Bombea, and Halkagenia. Special attacks like Confusion, Sleep, Paralysis, Poison, Brainwash, Darkness, Charge, Stun, HP Drain, Knockback, and specific elemental or physical attacks are also noted for relevant monsters. This page serves as a crucial reference for players preparing to explore these challenging dungeons. This page delves into the valuable items you can uncover within the Heaven's Ruins and Sheol's Ruins dungeons in Evolution. World of Sacred Device. It clarifies that while treasure chests are the source, the contents aren't entirely random. Instead, they are tied to the specific floor where the chest is found. The page also highlights practical game mechanics, such as the inventory limit of 32 items, excluding equipped items and sci-frame parts, and the option to use a transporter to return to town when your inventory is full. The majority of the page is dedicated to a detailed table listing items found in these two ruins. This includes a wide array of consumables like healing items and combat tools, accessories offering stat boosts, various pieces of armor for different body parts, weapons, components for upgrading your sci-frame, and even some items intended primarily for selling to merchants for money. For each item, the table clearly indicates its effect, and the specific floors, from basement 1st to 8th floor, within either Heaven's Ruins or Sheol's Ruins, where it can be obtained. This serves as an essential guide for players seeking specific gear or resources in these areas. This page focuses on the character skills and abilities available to your party in Evolution, World of Sacred Device. It emphasizes the importance of mastering each character's techniques and understanding how to use them efficiently, particularly special moves, which consume FP force points. While powerful, these moves can quickly deplete your FP gauge, requiring careful management, as FP is primarily restored through standard attacks or defense. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to outlining the various skills tied to different character parts or weapons. This guide lists each skill's name, effect, target, and the TP technique points required to use it. The page highlights crucial skills for the main character, Mag, specifically mentioning the Magna combo, a versatile technique useful for standard encounters. Magna Rave, noted as the strongest single-target attack, ideal for boss battles, and Item Taker, a skill used to acquire items from enemies. The visual elements include screenshots showcasing the game's turn-based combat, special move animations, and character models of the main trio, Liner, Mag, and Chain. This guide provides essential information for players looking to maximize their combat effectiveness by understanding and utilizing their party's unique abilities. This guide explores character abilities in the Evolution series, focusing on techniques activated by equipment parts. A detailed table categorizes part types, blade, jet, saber, etc., and their associated skills. Each skill is defined by its effect, e.g., multi-strike, status effects, target, single multiple enemies, self, allies, and TP cost. The guide highlights key skills for Chain, like Line Blade and Air Raid, which are powerful attack-focused options, and Pepper, showcasing abilities such as All-Range Shot and Pepper Flash, emphasizing her use of status effects and multi-target attacks. Pretzel and energy parts are recommended for Pepper's gameplay. Screenshots illustrate battle sequences, providing visual context for the described skills. This resource helps players optimize combat by understanding the diverse skills granted by different equipment parts. This page dives into the unique abilities of Laminia and Gree in the Evolution series. Unlike characters who utilize equipable parts or sci-frames to gain skills, Laminia and Gree have their own distinct skill sets that make them essential party members. Laminia specializes in support, particularly excelling in HP and status recovery. The guide highlights her key healing skills like First Aid, which restores a single ally's HP, and Welcome Back, a more powerful healing ability. Her diverse chants and restorative techniques ensure the party stays in fighting shape. Granger is presented as an incredibly versatile character, capable of a wide range of actions from speaking tactics to cooking and using mag-based abilities. He has a broad mix of skills covering various situations. The page points out Spirit Peak and Rouse as notable abilities, suggesting they offer significant buffs or powerful effects. Despite not using the part system, both Licinia and Gree boast a rich variety of indispensable skills for navigating the game's challenges. Screenshots showcase Licinia casting a spell and Gree ready for action, along with a battle display featuring the party. This page focuses on strategy for the game Sengoku Turb. It serves as a guide covering stages from episodes 6 through 9, delving into specific stage clear conditions. The main visual is a comprehensive map showing a grid layout of numerous stages, numbered and organized, likely indicating progression or connections. The guide details strategies for stages 28 through 39 in Episode 6, and stages 40 through 51 in Episode 7, outlining the objectives needed to advance. There is also a dedicated section offering advice on handling black fairies, suggesting they might be a key element for progression, or require a specific tactic like fermentation. Screenshots throughout the page showcase gameplay, giving a look at the environments and character models in Sengoku Turb as players navigate these stages. This page continues the strategy guide for Sengoku Turb, focusing on Episode 8, stages 5-63, and Episode 9, stages 64-66. The guide for Episode 8 details how to clear Stage 54, which is the condition to advance further in this episode. It explains specific interactions with characters like the Cream Minister in Stage 0, and following dialogue prompts to proceed past a bridge. Episode 9 covers stages 64 through 66, with clearing stage 64 being the key requirement. It warns players about facing aliens on the reverse side, and emphasizes that after clearing stage 64, weapons like the Light Sphere and Great Cannon become crucial main armaments. Tips are given for navigating the reverse side, including advice on accessories and preparing beforehand. A section is dedicated to Gartrude's ability enhancement, explaining how talking to certain characters affects his strength. For example, talking to Kyaromeru in Stage 0 weakens him, while talking to Alice B. No Uiin in Stage 0 makes him stronger. The page also includes a data table covering stages 28 through 66 across Episode 69. This table provides details on each stage's difficulty, the types of enemy fairies encountered, categorized by color, the items dropped upon clearing, and other notes about the area or special conditions. Screenshots display gameplay moments, illustrating the environments and characters players will encounter. This page continues the strategy guide for Sengoku Turb, jumping ahead to tease events on the reverse side. It provides glimpses into future episodes, including Episode 10, Twilight, where Ji-Chen heads out to battle aliens, and the Neko army gathers at the new Neko castle at sunset. Episode 11, Underground, is highlighted, detailing a pitfall Ji-Chen encounters that leads to an area with 3 mysterious entrances, suggesting a significant choice affecting the story ahead. The page also showcases glimpses of the alien enemies players will face, described as wild aliens. Finally, it jumps to Episode 12, No Enemies, revealing the invasion of the reverse side by the Neko army and the climactic confrontation between Ji-Chan and Doppa, noting that mysterious figures appear one after another during the battle, making the outcome uncertain. The guide teases the intense battles to come and hints at the importance of the choices made underground. This page features the 6th installment of Hiroshi Fujioka's column, titled Seeking Encounters and Emotion, where he engages in serious matches against reader challenges. Fujioka, a figure known for his passionate roles, appears in several photos illustrating his demeanor as he tackles difficult questions. One reader asks about being deeply involved with a relative's child, prompting Fujioka to advise introspection by asking, "What is your conscience telling you?" Another reader poses a fundamental question: "What is a man, otoko?" Fujioka's emphatic response is, "Burning blood," signifying a passionate and spirited approach to life and challenges. The column delves into these personal dilemmas, offering advice rooted in conviction and principle. This page features another installment of Hiroshi Fujioka's engaging column, where he provides direct and heartfelt advice to readers facing personal dilemmas. In the first section, a reader suffering from thinning hair and being teased asks for guidance. Fujioka's response is pragmatic and spirited, telling the reader that if being bald is a problem, they should simply work hard to fix it, emphasizing effort and saving money as solutions, urging them not to let it ruin their life and to act with courage. The second question comes from someone curious about whether Fujioka ever wished to become a modified human like Kamen Rider or achieve immortality. Fujioka humorously notes he never desired immortality and reflects on the idea of living a natural life being preferable to an impossibly long one, while acknowledging the fleeting interest in seeing the world evolve over vast timescales. The final section presents a reader's challenge to Fujioka's previous advice, implying it might be too cautious. Fujioka counters by explaining that personal growth stems from overcoming setbacks. He advises against becoming overly protected after receiving help, instead encouraging readers to turn around and help others. He stresses the importance of preparing oneself for challenges and views doubts and questions as positive signs of growth, urging readers to voice their thoughts rather than passively worrying. The page features several small images of Fujioka reflecting his demeanor. This page features an advertisement for new strategy guides published under the How to Play Games book series by Tokuma Shuten and Intermedia Company, focusing on Dreamcast titles. The main highlight is a super strategy guide for the game Sengoku Turb, described as the second volume in their Dreamcast strategy series. The guide promises to help players enjoy even the hidden aspects of the game, offering analysis of all 128 battle stages, detailed information on items and enemies, and conditions for triggering sub-events. An illustration related to the game is prominently displayed, showing a character alongside a unique mechanical or biological sphere, referencing the game's setting, the Rayon planet. The page also promotes a separate DC strategy guide for 7th Cross. This guide focuses on a complete analysis of the game's Drana system and includes data for all in-game areas. A small cover image of the 7th Cross guide is shown. Both strategy guides are priced at 890 yen, tax included, and are currently available for purchase. This page features a collection of reader feedback submitted through survey postcards, capturing their varied experiences and opinions on games. Readers share their thoughts on recent titles, including positive impressions of Sonic Adventure, Real Mahjong Adventure, and Sega Rally 2. Some offer detailed play experiences, commenting on gameplay design, character progression, and overall enjoyment. One reader mentions playing Mario Golf, an unusual title for this platform, suggesting they might be referencing an arcade version or another console. Another shares an idea for a game they wish existed, accompanied by a small illustration. The page also includes rankings based on reader votes for the most and least interesting articles from previous issues. The interesting articles Best 10 highlights popular content, while the boring articles Best 10 lists less favored topics, with games like Sengoku Turb and 7th Cross, which were featured on the previous page, appearing in the rankings. Finally, there is a section announcing the winners, chosen from the submitted survey postcards. This page announces the first round of the NEC Home Electronics Fan Magazine's character creation contest for the game 7th Cross. Following up on the reader feedback about the game mentioned previously, this contest challenges players to utilize the game's unique mutation system. The objective is simple: create a specific character, the Fine Frog, using only frog parts for the head, body, arm, and leg slots. Players need to submit a screenshot or photo of their completed frog character, showcasing their mastery of the game's customization. The magazine emphasizes that the submission should clearly display the frog parts and the character's resulting stats, as seen in the example screenshot provided. The prize for the winners? A luxurious shipment of fresh crab delivered directly to their door. It's a quirky and fun way to engage the player base and highlight one of 7th Cross's key features. This page continues the theme from the previous page, introducing the Sengoku Turb Unauthorized Sequel Production Committee corner, which branched off from the 7th Cross section. It highlights Sengoku Turb, an action RPG by NEC Home Electronics that was currently on sale. The main focus is a recruitment drive for new characters for an unofficial project called 2, presumably an unofficial sequel to Sengoku Turb. The magazine invites readers to submit original character ideas and illustrations for this dangerous and acknowledgedly irresponsible project, even humorously stating it's a secret from one of the credited copyright holders, Yoko Kuroyanagi. They show character renders from the game, suggesting readers' creations might appear alongside them, albeit with a playful maybe. Submissions are accepted via mail, with no specific deadline mentioned, and the possibility of them appearing in future issues. It's a fun, community-driven initiative tied to the game. This page is dedicated to the Ranking Street section, providing the latest software information based on actual sales data and reader feedback. The main commentary highlights how Sonic Adventure is completely dominating the charts, taking the undisputed top spot, despite a perceived lack of strong new releases during this period. The page features 2 ranking tables side by side, covering the periods of January 4th to 10th and January 11th to 17th. These tables list the top-selling games for both the Dreamcast and Sega Saturn platforms. Sonic Adventure and Virtua Fighter 3 TB consistently hold the top 2 positions across both weeks, showing their strong market presence. Other games appearing in the top rankings include Incoming, Godzilla Generations, and July for Dreamcasts, and Sakura Wars for Saturn. The second week sees the debut of Sengoku Turb, a title mentioned on the previous page, entering the list at number 3, and a new version of Ruined Realm also making an appearance. The rankings give a clear picture of which titles were popular with players during this early part of the year, driven heavily by Sega's own first-party powerhouses. This article examines the Dreamcast and Sega Saturn gaming scenes through popularity and demand rankings. The popularity ranking highlights the dominant presence of NEC interchannel titles on the Saturn, while the Dreamcast charts feature anticipated titles like Grandia 2 and established hits like Shenmue. The port request ranking reveals which games players desired on the Dreamcast, including arcade classics, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, PlayStation hits, Metal Gear Solid, and even older titles like Rent a Hero. Finally, the article announces the sequel request ranking, expanding from the Saturn to include requests across platforms, demonstrating an effort to influence future game development by gauging fan demand. This page presents the Ranking Street section, focusing on Sega Saturn games, showcasing reader rankings and reviews. It highlights games released recently, with the top spot going to No Yule 3, praised for being both a sequel and feeling fresh. The core of the page is a table listing the top-ranked games based on reader feedback, including No Yule 3, Ruriro no Yuki, Hatsukoi Monogatari Shugaku Ryoku, My Fair Lady Virtual Mahjong 2, winning Post 3 Program 98, and Capcom Generation Volume 5, Fighters. It includes their publishers, release dates, prices, overall scores, and detailed reader ranking subscores across various categories. Below the table are more in-depth reader reviews and manufacturer comments for the top 2 games. For No Kill 3, reviews mention its controversial hacking elements used to uncover character secrets, its dating simulation aspects, and mixed feelings about its dialogue and system mechanics, despite some finding the content engaging. Ruro no Yuki receives comments on its story and system, with varied opinions on character appeal and scenario execution. These sections provide a deeper look into player impressions of these popular Saturn titles. This page details reader-ranked Sega Saturn games, focusing on titles placed 3rd to 6th. In 3rd is First Love Story's School Trip, an adventure game praised for its story and heroine, though its premise drew some criticism. My Fair Lady Virtual Mahjong 2 secured 4th, with its Mahjong gameplay and visuals, despite some dated aspects. Winning Post 3 Program 98 5th offered a deep horse racing simulation with a focus on stats and bloodlines. Rounding out the top spots is Capcom Generation Volume 5, Street Fighter Collection 2, 6th, a balanced collection ideal for beginners. The page also calls for reader reviews for future issues, soliciting opinions on Saturn and Dreamcast games like Sengoku Turb and Evolution, World of Sacred Device, with a deadline of February 10th for prize eligibility. This page is a segment of the Cyber Dream Space Volume 4 monthly series, shining a spotlight on developers joining the Dreamcast scene. This installment features Bottom Up, a studio known for titles on systems like the Super Famicom and Nintendo 64. Bottom Up discusses their aspirations for game creation on the Dreamcast, expressing strong expectations for the console's rich potential, particularly its communication capabilities and potential for professional applications. They highlight that the biggest appeal lies in online competitive play, and their desire to accumulate know-how in this area. A representative, Mr. Okamoto, emphasizes their commitment to fully utilizing the Dreamcast's functions, even pushing their development staff to use all the functions available at the current stage. Among the titles mentioned are Entertainment Golf, a working title, and a game related to sumo wrestling. Notably, while they previously developed a sumo game for the N64, the text explicitly states the Dreamcast version will be completely different, indicating a fresh take. The page features a screenshot of a fighting/wrestling game, likely related to this sumo discussion, and a photo of Mr. Okamoto speaking, underscoring the passionate discussion about tackling the complexities of Dreamcast development. The developer sees broad possibilities for the Dreamcast beyond gaming, hinting at its versatility. This page continues the report on the highly anticipated title, Shenmue. It revisits the appeal of the game following a previous feature, confirming key details, and including interviews with series director Yu Suzuki. The focus is heavily on the game's core concept, creating a world on the monitor with overwhelming freedom and reality. The page highlights several aspects of this design philosophy. One is the freedom to look, showing how players can freely control the camera, using the analog stick to observe their surroundings. Another is the freedom to act, illustrating the ability to simply wander the detailed world and interact with it beyond the main storyline. The game also boasts natural character behavior, such as characters realistically adjusting their movement speed when near walls, and characters with a sense of life, where non-player characters turn their faces towards Ryo when spoken to, adding a layer of immersion. The overall message from the content is that Shenmue is designed to be a truly believable and interactive world, giving players unprecedented freedom to explore and live within it. Basic game information, including publisher and developer, is also provided. Shenmue's gameplay is defined by accessible event progression and interaction. The Quick Timer Event (QTE) system uses on-screen button prompts to control action sequences, including escape scenarios and combat, potentially influencing the story's direction. Players also manage Ryo's daily life through make-money events, like part-time jobs to earn funds. Director Yu Suzuki emphasizes a realistic world built with a virtual machine (VM) system, giving NPCs daily routines. He discusses balancing realism with engaging gameplay, ensuring believable event frequency and natural character reactions. Suzuki aims for deep immersion through detailed character movement and reactions, highlighting this project as his ambitious, all-encompassing vision of a living world. This page features an overview of Shenmue, focusing on characters and gameplay elements encountered in the Hong Kong section of the game. Illustrated profiles introduce key characters, including the antagonist Lan Di, the powerful figure Zhu Yuanda, the lively young boy Wang, the skilled martial artist Xu Yinghong, and the motorcycle enthusiast Joy. The article delves into Shenmue's unique gameplay systems. It discusses the Quick Timer Events, QTEs, describing them as a key method for handling action sequences like escapes and combat, differing from traditional methods but integral to the event progression. It also highlights the Command Battle Mode, which provides a specific fighting system. Director Yu Suzuki shares his thoughts on balancing the open-world virtual machine (VM) system, which allows players freedom to explore and interact with NPCs following daily routines, against the structured story progression. He emphasizes the goal of creating an immersive and replayable experience. The page also briefly touches upon the VMU screen displaying a minigame, hinting at side activities available outside the main quest. This page dives into the adventure game Kita-Hi, White Illumination, released on the Dreamcast. The article highlights the game's premise of a 4-day free travel scenario set in Hokkaido during winter. The core goal outlined for the player is to meet girls, give them gifts to build affection, and ultimately obtain their phone numbers. The page provides a look at the game's presentation and systems. It describes how the scenario unfolds, particularly mentioning an initial period where two specific characters, Kasumi and Tsubame, unexpectedly disappear. Screenshots show the player character interacting with various girls in different locations, including one scene in Otaru at a glass workshop. Another section focuses on meeting a Russian girl named Konya, detailing interactions with her and her family, and showcasing her elegant beauty. The art style is prominent, with character designs featured throughout, including key visuals of the male and female protagonists on the top of the page. The article emphasizes the reveal of the game's scenario structure and the present system as key elements. The next page continues covering Kita-Hi, White Illumination, delving deeper into the mechanics of building relationships with the girls. It highlights the importance of repeated visits and conversations to become closer, noting that communication choices are crucial, and relationships can falter if not nurtured. The game also features specific activities and dates, such as visiting a park at sunset or a cafe, and participating in events like glassmaking in Otaru, which can increase affection. A key system detailed is giving gifts. Finding the right present, like a glass mascot from a UFO catcher, can significantly boost a girl's favorability. Screenshots show various character interactions and locations, like a lounge and cafe angel. Ultimately, the page showcases the goal of exchanging phone numbers for future meetings, explaining this is a vital step for progression, though it notes that obtaining a number isn't always straightforward and depends on the girl's feelings. The screenshots effectively display the character models and diverse settings within the game. The next page delves deeper into the world of Kita-Hi, showcasing specific locations and activities players can experience during their romantic encounters in Hokkaido. The page title translates to Winter in Hokkaido, Visiting Again, a love story revealed, implying these are key spots for developing relationships within the game. It highlights the Sapporo White Illumination, a beautiful winter event, noting it's visible from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. The page also features characters like Kotori, Megumi, Tanya, and Mari, detailing activities associated with them. For instance, visiting Hakodate, and its famous sites like the Clock Tower, Sapporo, and the former Hakodate Ward Public Hall are mentioned as potential date spots with Megumi. Interactive locations are key, such as the Shugai building in Sapporo, which houses arcades, bowling alleys, billiards, and karaoke rooms. Perfect for dates, especially with Tanya and Marie, where minigames, karaoke, and winning prizes from UFO catchers play a role in building affection. The page also notes the culinary experiences available, like enjoying fresh squid and Hakodate with Mari, showcasing the variety of date options. Screenshots across the page depict the characters in these various settings, from enjoying city illuminations to singing karaoke and trying their luck at the arcade, providing a visual guide to the romantic opportunities available in the game's recreation of Hokkaido. The next page continues exploring the romantic destinations within Kita-hi, highlighting various locations in Hokkaido and linking them to specific heroines and activities. One section sets an adult mood at a cafe in Hakodate, likely a setting for a date. Another features the character Kanoko Hayano at the cafe per bar Beetlebam, suggesting a moment where she removes her eye patch, possibly signifying intimacy. The energetic Kaoru is shown with her signature orange barchetta, hinting at exciting snowy drives as a potential activity. Specific real-world landmarks are featured, such as the former Hokkaido government office and the Furepukan Cafe, indicating these serve as date spots within the game's world. The page also focuses on Yuzu, showcasing her passion for photography at various locations like Furepu Plaza and the government office. Lastly, the restaurant Urai is presented, detailing Chinese dishes like fried rice and dumplings, suggesting these meals can be enjoyed during dates. These sections provide players with a look at the diverse experiences and character interactions available as they explore Hokkaido in Kita-hi. This page features an interview with the developers of the Dreamcast visual novel Kita-hi, To the North. The interview took place in Sapporo, the game's primary setting. Featured are producer and director Kaoru Kozuki, scenario writer Yutaka Nagayama, and development overall supervisor/director Taketomi Sugita, along with mention of Masahiro Hoshino. They discussed the game, which was Hudson's first title for the Dreamcast. Highlights include the significance of the period mark in the Japanese title, quote, which was added later and has a deeper meaning. The developers talk about the creative process and the distinctive art style provided by character designer Nochi, whose work is described as having a delicate yet powerful touch that was fresh at the time. A major point of discussion is the decision to use real-world photography of Hokkaido locations as the basis for the game's backgrounds, and the challenges this presented, particularly in matching CG elements and characters to the photographic backdrops and handling elements like signage. They also touch on the sheer volume of content, including CG events and scenarios, and the detailed work put into character designs and costumes. An image shows a character rendered in the game style placed over a photorealistic background of a street scene, illustrating this blend of art styles. This page continues the interview with the developers of the Dreamcast visual novel Kita-hi, To the North. The discussion delves deeper into the technical and creative challenges of blending photographic backgrounds with CG characters, ensuring a natural and immersive feel. The developers elaborate on designing the game's conversation system, aiming for more dynamic and human-like interactions compared to previous visual novels, potentially referencing systems like those found in titles such as Sakura Taisen. A significant focus is placed on the minigames included in the game, confirming there are 4 distinct types: a quiz game, a shooting game, and a karaoke minigame featuring the game's opening theme. A screenshot shows a character in a karaoke setting, with a screen displaying graphics related to the game's memorable opening song, confirming this minigame feature. The team also discusses the extensive volume of content, including numerous CG events and background art. The interview concludes with a message to players, expressing hope that the effort put into the game, particularly in making it accessible and enjoyable for players new to the genre, especially female users, will be appreciated. They emphasize the passion poured into its development, from the music to the gameplay systems. This page shifts focus to the highly anticipated action RPG, Elemental Gimmick Gear. The striking visuals immediately grab your attention, featuring the game's title rendered in a bold, mechanical font, set against detailed artwork of intricate gears and machinery. A prominent image shows one of the game's distinct robot characters, bathed in the glow of a mysterious blue energy ball. The page is presented as a continue to report and direct interview with the developers, giving insight into the game's progress. Below the main title, A small table provides essential game details, including the platform, DC, genre, action RPG, and development status at the time. Further down, the page features photos of 5 key members of the development team from Hudson Soft, birthday, each identified by their role. The producer, Kaoru Koryu, planner, Fumio Ito, chief programmer, Yoshihiro Kosaka, graphics director, Hisashi Kubo, and movie director, Hisashi Mizuno. There's also a photograph capturing the developers in a meeting room, likely during the interview or a discussion about the game. This layout suggests an in-depth look at the creation of elemental gimmick gear, directly from the people bringing it to life. This page explores the world of elemental gimmick gear, EGG, focusing on its origins and gameplay. The game's unique mechs, designed with an endearing quality rather than typical sci-fi coolness, originated from a single-figure design before game planning. The narrative unfolds in a shared world established 100 years prior, after an incident involving the entity EGG and a sleeping man. A timeline highlights the discovery of EGG in 1353, and the protagonist, Sleipman, Leon, awakening in 1453, setting the story's current events. Key characters include Sleipman, searching for his lost memories, and Serene, a scientist. The page also details diverse enemy EGG units, each with unique designs and attack styles, such as the Beast, Troops, and Genocider. An interview reveals that the game project started with the EGG figure, and was built around the action and world to create an engaging experience. This page dives deeper into the gameplay and presentation of elemental gimmick gear. It highlights the game's boss battles, which take place in dynamic 3D polygon environments, shifting from the standard map view. These bosses are depicted as unique biological and mechanical entities, featuring detailed designs only possible on the Dreamcast hardware, with operation feeling similar to 2D combat. The use of terrain and elevation differences in boss arenas is also noted as a strategic element. The page also showcases the game's maps, described as meticulously hand-drawn illustrations rather than typical CG, lending a unique warmth and atmosphere to the world's dungeons and fields. High-quality CG movie sequences are featured, serving to draw the player into the game's world and narrative during key moments like the opening and scenario points. Several interviews are scattered throughout the page, discussing the design philosophy. One interview focuses on the diverse boss designs, noting they are all polygon models, with varying battle patterns and sizes. Another discusses the game's visual style and color palette, aiming to express a desolate but distinct world. A final interview touches upon the use of both 2D and 3D techniques in the movie sequences to maximize visual impact and storytelling. This page continues, exploring elemental gimmick gear, focusing on the unique gimmick action system. This system allows players to utilize various abilities like the spin dash, wire arm, and catch to navigate fields and dungeons and overcome obstacles and enemies. Screenshots illustrate the spin dash in action and the gimmick meter. The game also features multiple minigames designed for relaxation and training. These include a race using the spin dash, a trap avoidance challenge, and even a creature raising simulation where you find and nurture beings. Items play a crucial role, primarily used to activate elemental powers, earth, water, fire, wind. For attacks and recovery, players can switch items via the equipment screen and use them with a single button press in battle. Screenshots show elemental attacks in action. The traps throughout the game are highlighted, starting simple like switches and block-pushing puzzles, but becoming increasingly extreme and complex as the game progresses. Developers note they become quite challenging. Interviews touch on the minigames, confirming there are 3 types. Developers discuss the trap design evolution and the overall development progress. The release is confirmed for April, with the team pushing hard towards completion, despite acknowledging some challenges. They express confidence that EGG will be an engaging experience for players. This page announces the confirmed March 4th release date for Psychic Force 2012 on Dreamcast, and provides an in-depth look at the final Master Room build. The article confirms Taito as both the developer and publisher for this fighting action title, highlighting its 2-player simultaneous battle mode. The review emphasizes the incredible faithfulness of the Dreamcast port to the arcade version. Graphics, character animations, special move timing, and command inputs are all reproduced with high fidelity. The game is described as a near-perfect port, ensuring players who enjoyed the arcade original will feel right at home. Screenshots showcase various aspects, including the character selection screen with options for different difficulty modes, intense in-game combat with character portraits and gauges, a ranking screen, and a detailed in-game control explanation. The graphical quality is specifically called out as a high point for home console fighters of the era. The reviewer's sentiment is clear. The port is exceptionally well executed, delivering a satisfying experience for both arcade veterans and newcomers. This page delves into the core mechanics of Psychic Force 2012, highlighting its defining feature, the all-range battle system. It emphasizes the freedom of movement in a 360-degree space, a significant departure from traditional fighting games. The article also introduces the crucial gauge system, explaining how life and the psycho gauge are intertwined, powering special and super moves. A unique aspect is the barrier guard system, which uses the psycho gauge to defend against attacks from any direction, contrasting with standard guards. It also mentions evasive techniques, like the yellow evade barrier. The attack system is detailed, noting that moves change depending on the distance between characters, with different inputs yielding various effects at close or long range. Finally, the movement system is explored, specifically the three distinct types of dashes: normal dash for basic movement, quick dash for closing distance or surprise attacks, and the new slide dash for evasion, allowing players to circle behind opponents. Screenshots throughout illustrate these systems, showing character movement, gauges, and in-game actions. The article conveys the strategic depth offered by these interconnected systems. This page presents the various game modes available in the Dreamcast version of Psychic Force 2012. It highlights that the game includes 6 modes, incorporating originals unique to the home console release alongside the standard arcade experience. The modes covered are Arcade Mode, a direct and faithful port of the original arcade game, offering the core fighting experience. Story Mode. Each character has their own narrative path with dialogue scenes and multiple endings, allowing players to delve into the character's background and motivations. Screenshots show characters like Emilio and Wendy in dialogue sequences. Training Mode. Essential for new and experienced players alike, this mode allows practice of commands and techniques against a dummy, complete with damage display. Versus Mode. The standard player versus player mode for competitive matches. A screenshot shows a result screen after a battle. Versus Com Mode. Battle against the computer opponent, useful for practicing specific matchups or characters. Watch Mode. Allows players to observe CPU-controlled matches, which can be used for strategy observation or simply spectating. Additionally, the page points out a notable visual detail. Character expressions change. During story scenes and sometimes in gameplay, character portraits display a range of emotions, such as anger or sadness, reacting to the dialogue and events. This adds depth and personality to the characters beyond just their fighting abilities. Screenshots illustrate this feature, with different portraits of characters showing varied expressions. The next page provides a character relationship chart for Psychic Force 2012, giving players a visual guide to the game's intricate story. The setting involves characters returning from the original Psychic Force, the emergence of the mysterious new Noah, and a third, distinct power. The chart highlights the complex human relationships and organizational conflicts that fuel the narrative. It maps out key connections. Carlo, who leads the new Noah organization, aiming to create a psychic utopia, and his relationship with his devoted follower Regina, and the modified soldier Gates, who later defects. The chart shows Patty, a girl with a unique voice, traveling with Might, a mysterious boy who hunts psychickers, despite Patty's concern for him. We also see the rivalries within the military psychicker unit, particularly between Gades and Setsuna, the first artificial psychicker. Wendy is depicted searching for her lost sister, and the transformed Emilio, who became cold after his imprisonment. The ancient warrior Genshin is shown in opposition to multiple characters, reflecting his stance against all psychickers. This diagram is essential for understanding the motivations and intertwined fates of the characters in Psychic Force 2012. The next page features the unique audio-driven adventure game, Real Sound, Keize no Regret. The main focus is an interview with director Kenji Ino, known for his experimental game designs. The article highlights the game's striking visual and sound design, aiming to resonate deeply with the player's heart. Ino discusses the Dreamcast version, noting changes from the Saturn release, including it fitting on 2 discs. He emphasizes the game's distinctive visual style, which uses only evocative landscape photographs taken by Koichi Inakoshi, deliberately excluding character visuals to allow players to use their imagination. Ino mentions that the game utilizes thousands of these photos and features narration by Yuji Sakamoto. The discussion touches on the different image modes available, reinforcing the game's focus on atmosphere and the player's personal interpretation. The next page continues the discussion on the unique audio adventure game, Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, revealing details about its visual mode and featuring comments, likely from director Kenji Ino. The article highlights that while the game is primarily audio-driven, the visual mode allows players to see thousands of landscape photographs by Koichi Inakoshi as the story progresses, enhancing the atmosphere and player immersion. The text emphasizes the deliberate choice to use only evocative landscape photos, foregoing character visuals to encourage players to use their imagination. Comments attributed to Ino explain this design philosophy, stating that he wanted players to feel like they were looking out a window or flipping through a photo album, fostering a personal connection to the story and world. He notes the high quality of the visuals and hopes players will appreciate exploring them. The page also briefly touches upon game specifics, confirming it's a Dreamcast title in the adventure genre. It mentions support for the visual memory unit and communication features. The discussion hints at various gameplay modes, including an autoplay feature. The article concludes by indicating that the interview or discussion about the game is set to continue. The visuals on the page consist of striking landscape photographs that align with the game's unique visual style. Real Sound, Kaze no Regret for Dreamcast is discussed, highlighting its network features, made easier by the Dreamcast's improved capabilities. Director Ino notes the game's sound quality is best suited for standard TV speakers. The primary focus is on D2, with the announcement of a D2 trial edition included with the first print run. This demo, featuring a new opening movie, offers a compelling introduction to the game. New footage, The Wind's Regret, showcases improved visuals. Development is progressing rapidly, with voice recording nearly complete and a potential summer release target. The team acknowledges early Dreamcast development challenges, particularly with tools. The page is visually represented with screenshots of Real Sound and D2, emphasizing the horror elements of the latter. This page features a lengthy interview with director Kenji Ino, primarily discussing the survival horror game D2. Visually, the page includes multiple screenshots showcasing D2's environments and characters, including protagonist Laura, Kimberly, and a creature, alongside an image of Ino himself. Ino delves into the gameplay experience, emphasizing the goal of enjoying the story and atmosphere without getting bogged down by complex controls. He notes improvements in visuals, particularly minimizing the gap between stunning opening movies and real-time gameplay, a common challenge at the time. Combat and monster movements are discussed as well, highlighted as responsive and well executed. A significant focus is placed on the upcoming D2 trial edition. Ino details that this demo includes the Schwert de Bart section seen at game shows, a separate snowmobile test drive mode, encouraging players to practice handling, and even a secret data save feature that interacts with the full game. The trial edition is presented as a substantial preview, encouraging players to try it. Ino also mentions that the delay of Real Sound, Kaze no Regret, provided valuable time to refine D2, indicating significant development progress. This page takes an in-depth look at the Versus mode of Puyo Puyo N, known as Puyo Puyo 4 on the Dreamcast, as experienced through a trial version. The dynamic battle system builds upon the classic Puyo Puyo rules. A major new feature is character-specific special moves, Tokugi, adding unique abilities like Seri's move that connects adjacent, same-colored Puyos, enhancing strategic play. The Sun Puyos from the previous installment are gone. In the two-player versus mode tested, 16 characters were available, including returning favorites like Argyle, Schizo, Incubus, and Draco, along with new faces. Players can adjust difficulty before matches, including Puyo colors and chain correction. Screenshots illustrate key mechanics, such as counter-canceling, Sosai, where chains negate incoming garbage, and All Clear, Zenshi, which awards a bonus 5 lines of garbage upon clearing the entire screen. This report is based on the editorial team's test play of a sample room, highlighting the game's new elements and core versus gameplay. This page dives deeper into the battle system of Puyo Puyo 4, highlighting its evolution into a more dynamic, almost fighting game-like experience. Visually enhanced, The game now features character actions and Q-tons during chain attacks, and when countering opponents. This adds a significant layer of spectacle compared to previous installments. A major focus is on the character-specific special abilities, or tokugi, which were introduced on the previous page. These moves are confirmed to be a key strategy, with various characters having unique effects powered up by triggering chains. The page showcases examples of chain attack animations for Ardal and Draco, illustrating how they visually impact the battle with signature moves. Beyond the battle mechanics, the page introduces a new feature: 4 distinct game modes based on Puyo size. Players can choose from standard-size Puyos, larger ones, smaller ones, and even a super tiny mode. This smallest Puyo mode, called Supaba Chibi Puyo, presents a unique challenge focused on achieving massive 100 chain combos, requiring precision due to the high resolution making the tiny Puyos distinct. These varied size options add significant replayability and cater to different playstyles and challenges. This page is all about Pop San music, highlighting its upcoming release on the Dreamcast and revealing details about original elements and included songs. The core of the game is a cheerful rhythm experience where you hit 9 buttons in time with the music. Notes, represented by popguns, fall from the top of the screen, and your goal is to press the corresponding button exactly when they reach the bottom line. Hitting notes correctly plays the melody and builds your performance meter. The page details the timing system, explaining that hitting notes perfectly as they cross the line results in a great rating, while slightly off timing gives you good. Missing or being completely off results in bad. Achieving great or good builds your meter, which needs to be in the green good zone at the end of the song to clear the stage. Rivals can interfere with Ojama moves, which mess with the display, like changing the speed of falling notes or obscuring them. Your in-game character also reacts to your performance, with successful hits leading to energetic steps and dances, while misses make them look dejected. It's a simple but highly engaging rhythm formula with lots of visual flair. The Dreamcast version of Pop San music offers a refined home experience compared to the arcade, with unique features. A comprehensive training mode allows speed adjustment, section looping, and reduced button layouts for easier learning. The game supports various control options, including the dedicated Popsni music controller, standard Dreamcast controllers, and arcade sticks. It includes all arcade songs plus exclusive originals. Hidden songs, bonus track, and lay can be unlocked, with bonus track resembling the Beatmania series. The page previews the game's vibrant characters, like Richan, Judy, and Bam, while hinting at potential character connections to the secret songs. This page previews the Dreamcast title, Aero Dancing, featuring Blue Impulse. It highlights the game's core, Blue Impulse mission mode, detailing the 3 steps players will experience: briefing, flight, and debriefing. The text explains that the missions start with basic maneuvers and progress to more complex aerobatics. Screenshots demonstrate the briefing stage with its graphical instructions, the flight stage showing both cockpit and external views during gameplay, and the debriefing screen, where players receive their score and performance evaluation. Success in debriefing allows progression. An image of the actual Blue Impulse T-4 aircraft is also featured. The page also introduces actress and personality Mayumi Kajiwara as part of the Shape Up Girls segment. She is shown next to a Dreamcast setup and holding game cases. The text notes that Mayumi Kajiwara provides navigation and guidance to players, specifically in the training mode of Aero Dancing, acting as the instructor character. This page reports on the off-road racing game Buggy Heat. The main focus is the reveal of a new course location, the 5th to be announced, set in the extreme cold of Russia. The text highlights the challenging nature of racing on the snowy and frozen ground. Several screenshots showcase the game's visuals, featuring the new Russian snow course with vehicles battling the icy conditions, as well as glimpses of other course environments like desert and coastal roads. The article also touches on upcoming features, noting the addition of an automatic transmission mode, and questioning whether the game will allow for tricky maneuvers like wheelies. This page delves into the Sega Saturn adventure game Friends, announcing that its release date is now locked in for April 8th. The report highlights the game's development nearing completion, currently standing at 99%. The focus of this update is on the unique elements added to the Saturn version, which center around deepening character relationships and incorporating new episodes for the heroines. To build anticipation, the page reveals some of the brand new original CG artwork created specifically for this release. The visuals presented showcase various character moments, including a serene lakeside scene at sunset with the protagonist and Mizuho, a tense interaction between Yosuke and Midori where Yosuke offers comfort, and a potentially significant pairing of Susumu and Shizuka shown in close conversation. The accompanying text hints at the emotional depth and character focus that players can expect in this version of the game. This page details the significant improvements made to the romance system in the Sega Saturn version of the adventure game, Friends, promising a more dramatic experience. Building on the previous page's mention of enhanced relationships, this report explains how the Saturn version delves deeper into individual character episodes and human connections, notably allowing relationships to develop not just between the protagonist and heroines, but also between other male and female characters. A diagram illustrates the relationship system flow, showing how interactions between various characters lead to different endings. The central feature of the page is a detailed relationship chart, visually mapping the complex connections and feelings between the game's diverse cast, including members of the former tennis club and other key characters. The accompanying text highlights that these relationships, encompassing everything from admiration and childhood friendships to rivalry and potential romance, are subtly woven into the narrative and become clearer as the player progresses through the story. This page continues the look at the Sega Saturn version of Friends, specifically focusing on how the game expands the romance elements by providing deeper episodes for each of the 8 heroines. The magazine highlights that this version allows players to explore the thoughts and worries of the girls regarding love. The page is structured around profiles for 4 of these heroines: Mizuho Kobayakawa, Ayu Wakabayashi, Midori Akiyama, and Shizuka Ogata. Each profile features the character's name, a descriptive title hinting at their story arc or personality, detailed character artwork including portraits and yukata and screenshots from key scenes, and text describing their role and key moments in the game. For instance, Mizuho's section hints at her appearance changing and a moment related to a quote while watching the sunset, while Ayu's focuses on her childhood friendship with the protagonist and the emotional weight behind her words. Midori's profile asks if she can love someone, including their past and future, and Shizuka is presented as a somewhat mysterious character. The article also notes that the game includes service content, like swimsuit scenes. This page introduces 4 heroines from the dating sim Friends: Makoto, Momoko, Kanako, and Miyuki. Each is presented with artwork and a brief personality sketch, highlighting their unique traits and potential story arcs within the game. The page also details bonus content included on a special disc, such as an art gallery, an original CD drama, and an interactive audio drama called Youth's Murmur. This audio drama immerses players in a thrilling scenario where the protagonist must escape a stalker. Finally, the page hints at the game's choice-driven gameplay through a screenshot depicting a critical decision involving a Doberman. The overall focus is on the depth of character relationships and the wealth of bonus content enhancing the game's experience. This page delves into the Dungeons & Dragons collection for the Dreamcast, showcasing 2 classic arcade beat-em-ups, Tower of Doom and Shadow over Mystara. The collection features both games, bringing the exciting cooperative fantasy action home. For Tower of Doom, the page highlights the 4 playable characters and mentions that your choices during the adventure will affect the path you take through the stages and even the bosses you encounter. Screenshots show early stages and bosses like the Ogre Leader, Troll Leader, Manticore, Displacer Beast, and the Black Dragon, teasing some of the formidable foes players will face. Moving on to Shadow over Mystara, the page notes that this sequel takes place 2 years later and increases the playable character count to 6. It points out gameplay enhancements like easier item and magic selection and the addition of special moves. The stage progression is also detailed, again influenced by player choices. Screenshots showcase bosses such as the Worm, Harpy, Beholder, Manscorpion, and the Ogre Brothers, giving a glimpse into the challenging encounters awaiting players in the latter stages. The overall presentation emphasizes the dynamic nature of the adventures and the variety of enemies present in both titles. This page features a review section focused on upcoming software, highlighting the highly anticipated Sega Rally 2 for the Dreamcast. A brief introduction presents the reviewers who will be sharing their impressions. The main focus is Sega Rally 2, showcased with a screenshot of a car on a rally track. The review emphasizes the quality of the port, stating it surpasses the original arcade version, particularly praising the online multiplayer capabilities which are deemed flawless. Reviewers discuss the excellent feel of the game, the sense of speed, and the communication features available during online play. A roundtable discussion further elaborates on these points, with reviewers expressing enthusiasm for the online battles and the overall polish of the game, including graphics and handling, despite some minor points mentioned. They generally agree on the high quality and enjoyable nature of the port, reflected in their high scores for the game. The section underscores that online racing represents the future standard for the genre. This page dives into the latest arcade hits, specifically highlighting the eagerly anticipated Spike Out Final Edition from Sega AM11. This isn't just a minor update. It's a full-blown new version promising revitalized stages, enemy patterns, and a total of 40 areas to battle through. Even seasoned veterans of the original Spike Out will find a fresh challenge here. The update introduces exciting new features, including a competitive rush mode, where players race against the clock to defeat as many enemies as possible within 3 minutes. Perfect for quick, intense gameplay. The game also adds numerous new situations, which can change based on player actions, and even offers the ability to reselect characters during continues, adding strategic depth. You'll get a glimpse of 2 brand new stages, the weapon-rich Spiker's Camp and the intricate Shipyard, each offering unique environments to brawl in. Adding to the fun are 3 new bonus stages, including a frantic enemy clearing challenge and a quirky batting minigame called Blue Sky Fly High, Laughing Batting Game. The screenshots showcase the game's signature 3D beat-em-up action across these diverse new locations and modes. This looks like a significant evolution for the series, packed with content to keep players coming back. This page introduces Zombie Zone, an upcoming action title from Sega AM1, promising a dark atmosphere and flashy combat. While details are sparse as its before release, it's highlighted for its polished state. The gameplay revolves around a simple yet versatile 3-button system for actions like guarding, various attacks, and charge moves, allowing for diverse combos. Guarding is crucial as it reduces damage. A major feature is the 2-player simultaneous co-op mode, perfect for tackling the zombie hordes together. The strategy often involves focusing fire on a single enemy and utilizing hit-and-run tactics. The game also features dynamic camera angles that shift during 2-player action. Unlike typical action game fodder, the zombies in Zombie Zone, set in the world of the House of the Dead, are presented as genuinely tough foes. Players will face various types, including those that spit projectiles, others with powerful attacks, unique bosses, and even slow-moving zombies best handled with rapid fire. Adding to the experience is a strong emphasis on cinematic presentation, following the tradition of the HOD series. The game includes dramatic, movie-like cutscenes rendered with beautiful CG, which are noted as an improvement over previous entries, enhancing the backstory and overall excitement with shocking moments. The page showcases various gameplay screenshots, character art of the protagonists, key figures, and imposing enemies. This page dives into the scoring mechanics of L.A. Machine Guns, an intense arcade light gun shooter from Sega AM3. While seemingly a straightforward shooter, it features a deep scoring system centered around the chain combo. Defeating enemies rapidly increases a multiplier, shown by a gauge, which drastically boosts your score when destroying enemies and objects. Maintaining the combo requires quick target acquisition and hitting enemies within a short time window before the multiplier resets. The page provides details on how scores are calculated, including base points for hits and multiplied points for destroying enemies and various objects in the environment, like vehicles and structures. There's a system for scoring based on how enemies are defeated, such as through explosions. Screenshots illustrate the gameplay, showing the chain combo gauge in action, the destruction of objects for points, and the overall arcade presentation, including a mission failed screen displaying score breakdown elements like total points, remaining time, damages suffered, and max chain achieved. The next page continues the deep dive into L.A. Machine Gun's scoring system, specifically covering penalties and boss scores. It explains that hitting non-combatants, such as the president or civilians, results in significant point deductions. Hitting the president, for example, incurs a stiff 5,000-point penalty per shot. The page also details the scoring structure for boss encounters across the game's first 4 stages, listing the point values for hitting specific parts of each boss, like the body, engines, or weapon systems. Furthermore, the page breaks down the stage clear bonus calculation. After finishing a level, your total score is augmented by bonuses for mission completion time, remaining time, and the maximum chain combo achieved during the stage. Conversely, penalties are applied based on the number of times you took damage and the number of shots missed. The formulas for these calculations are presented, showing how damage and misses reduce the overall score. There's also a section offering strategic advice on how to effectively maintain the chain combo, stressing the importance of rapid targeting and learning enemy patterns and spawn points to keep the multiplier going. Finally, a segment highlights a promotional giveaway from Sega's AM3 Lab, offering items related to L.A. Machine Guns and other games. This page dives into the evolution of the rhythm game genre with a focus on Konami's Beatmania series. The headline announces Beatmania 2 DX, presented as the true successor designed specifically for dedicated players. It features multiple gameplay modes catering to different key counts, 4, 5, 7, and expert, and boasts a large 40-inch wide monitor, various effects, and a bass shaker for an immersive experience. The visuals are highlighted as being based on processed photos, giving them a distinct, adult atmosphere. Screenshots showcase the game's interface, the impressive arcade cabinet, and vibrant background videos. The mode select screen for 2DX shows options like practice, easy, normal, and expert, suggesting a focus on skill progression, with a note that practice mode is recommended for mastering the 7-key layout. The page also features Beatmania Complete Mix, described as a compilation of tracks from the first 3 Beatmania games, plus additional new songs recorded in NY. A major new addition is the Internet Ranking mode, allowing players to compete globally. Screenshots illustrate the mode select for Complete Mix, including easy, hard, and the new Internet Ranking option, and even shows the login screen prompting for a password to access the ranking system. The page emphasizes the game's club-like visuals, contributing to a mysterious trip feeling. This page continues the Konami rhythm game focus, introducing 2 more major titles. First up is Guitar Freaks, the latest sound simulation game from Konami, following their DJ and dance hits. As the name suggests, this game puts a guitar in your hands. Gameplay involves using the RGB neck buttons and the picking lever, in time, with notes displayed on screen. The explanation highlights that simply matching the prompts correctly is key. The game features different modes, including practice, normal, and expert, catering to various skill levels. Screenshots showcase vibrant and often quirky in-game graphics and character designs, with mentions of a gallery feature adding replay value. Below that, the page announces the arrival of Dance Dance Revolution's second mix. For fans already hooked on DDR, this is presented as the next evolution. While building on the core step-based gameplay, this version includes new songs and features. The game modes shown include easy, normal, and hard, typical for DDR. A notable mode highlighted is Step Battle, suggesting a competitive aspect. The screenshots show the familiar arrow-matching gameplay, and the character select screen featuring different dancers. The text implies there are new songs and refined gameplay elements to keep players engaged. This page of Newswave brings the latest information related to the Dreamcast. The first major topic covers the launch of the Neo Geo Pocket Colors. Set for release on March 19th, this handheld features a color screen capable of displaying over 4,000 colors simultaneously. It's highlighted that a wireless communication unit is planned for release, enabling battles and data exchange specifically with the Dreamcast, expanding gameplay possibilities. The launch lineup includes titles like King of Fighters 2 and Samurai Showdown 2, alongside racing, puzzle, and other genres. A screenshot shows the handheld and a scene from King of Fighters. To celebrate the Neo Geo Pocket Color launch, 2 campaigns are running, offering chances to win event tickets and various prizes through retail store promotions. Finally, the page announces a network ranking tournament for the racing game, Sega Rega 2. Players can compete online by achieving high scores in the game's records mode to win luxurious premium goods. A screenshot shows intense racing action from Sega Rega 2. This page features several upcoming events for gamers and fans of Japanese pop culture. A unique new fishing controller called Get Bass is being showcased, and players can get a feel for this specialized peripheral at events in both Tokyo and Osaka. Additionally, the page covers release events for music artists popular in the fan community. Actress and singer Makoto Kono has events across the country celebrating her best album release, and singer Kurumi Enomoto is touring for her latest single. These events offer fans a chance to interact and celebrate with the artists. There's also a mention of Wonder Festival 99 Winter, a massive hobby and garage kit convention known for its extensive displays and sales of figures, models, and other enthusiast items, including game-related goods. Finally, the Tokyo Game Show 99 Spring event is highlighted, focusing on the Idol and Anime Card Festival aspect. This event is a hub for fans of trading cards based on popular anime and games, featuring stage events with various performers, including idols and voice actors. The page shows images of popular anime/game characters often featured on these cards, alongside a picture of an idol who likely performed at the event. The schedule details numerous stage appearances throughout the weekend. This page highlights several intriguing developments in the gaming world. Panasonic is launching a new brand called Team Pwonder, focused on creating unique entertainment software, with their first title, Web Mystery, set for release in April. The report dives into the commercial for Sega Play 2, featuring impressive drift driving sequences. Interestingly, they filmed these scenes using a bulldozer and even a bicycle equipped with a camera, resulting in a visually striking CM worth keeping an eye out for. For fans of classic titles, a Falcom Classics collection is introduced, bundling popular games from the series into a single package offered at a great price, giving players a chance to revisit some gems. In gaming news, Japanese football star Shinji Ono was brought in for a motion capture session, lending his skills and movements to a game, showcasing flexible ball handling and maneuvers. Finally, the new Genki image girl is introduced. 16-year-old Mina Takeda, described as lively and energetic. She enjoys soccer and skiing, and expresses her enthusiasm for the role. The page also briefly covers event news, including the opening of a new Club Sega arcade in Shibuya, and details about an upcoming game tournament event there. This multimedia guide highlights several new gaming-related releases. The Sakura Wars 2 drama CD series concludes with Bluebird, the final radio drama installment. Visitor Volume 2, a 3D CG animation, arrives on DVD and LD, continuing the story of Curly. Music fans can enjoy the Galactic Storm Dream of Memories CD, an arrangement album by Zuntata, and Zunta Rare Selection Volume 5 Hot Menu, a compilation of original and unreleased tracks. Additionally, there's a drama album CD for Quiz Naru Dreams based on the radio program. A reader giveaway is also featured. Readers can enter to win prizes, including Dreamcast merchandise and various game-related items, by submitting a postcard mentioning their favorite article by February 12th. This page dives into the upcoming work latest status report, catching the latest information on popular software releases. It provides a snapshot of anticipated games currently in development for the Dreamcast and Sega Saturn. Headlining the Dreamcast section is an update on Shenmue, showing a character screenshot and discussing its development status following production presentations. We also see Power Stone, the dynamic 3D arena fighter, and the high-energy tag battle of Marvel vs. Capcom, both nearing release with high development percentages. Other DC titles featured include the racing/combat game Bakuretsu Heat, the mech action of Elemental Gimmick Gear, and the mystery title Web Mystery, Predictive Dreamcat, all with varying development progress indicated by percentages. The Sega Saturn lineup includes updates on the visual novels Friends Shine of Youth and With You, Want to Gaze at You, both showcasing character illustrations. A major highlight is the Dungeons & Dragons collection, confirmed for release, which bundles 2 classic arcade beat-em-ups and is shown with action screenshots. Finally, the third entry in the Tokimeki Memorial Drama series, Song of Departure, featuring familiar characters from the dating simulation series, is also covered, nearing completion. This report gives gamers a clear view of which exciting titles are on the horizon and how close they are to launch. This page presents a comprehensive upcoming release calendar for both the Dreamcast and Sega Saturn consoles, detailing anticipated software launches with specific dates, developer/publisher information, and pricing. The Dreamcast section lists games slated for release in monthly batches, and those with less specific dates like this year or unspecified. Highlights include arcade ports like Sega Rally 2 and Power Stone, fighting games such as Marvel vs. Capcom, and unique titles like Elemental Gimmick Gear and the adventure game Web Mystery. The calendar shows a mix of genres, indicating a diverse lineup building for the platform, with many titles appearing with tentative pricing or marked as undecided. Similarly, the Sega Saturn calendar features upcoming releases, though the platform is in its later stages. It includes titles like the Dungeons & Dragons collection, various simulation and adventure games, and fighting titles from series like J.League Pro Soccer. As with the Dreamcast list, many Saturn titles also show undecided release dates or prices. This calendar serves as an essential guide for players, giving them a clear view of the immediate and near-future software landscape for both Sega platforms, detailing when they can expect to get their hands on the next big titles. This page serves as an announcement for the next issue of Dreamcast Fan, issue number 5. Scheduled for release on February 12th, it teases exciting content, including deep strategy guides for Sega Rally 2 and coverage of the highly anticipated Shenmue. It promises reports on these and other hot titles fans are eager to hear about. The page also provides a helpful index of games covered within this issue, listing titles for both Dreamcast and Sega Saturn, along with the pages where you can find more information. Additionally, there's a valuable guide explaining how to interpret the technical specification sheets presented for games throughout the magazine, covering details like platform, release date, price, genre, and development progress. Standard contact information for the magazine and staff credits are also present. This page announces Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation 2 for the Dreamcast. It promises the ultimate dream of speed in Monaco, with the game recreating the famous street circuit. The game features multiple modes, including an arcade mode focused purely on speed, and a simulation mode with realistic elements like fuel and tire wear, overseen by Renault. For fans of classic racing, there's even a retro mode featuring cars from the 1950s. The game boasts 17 different circuits and supports two-player split-screen racing. The screenshots shown are from a development build, giving a glimpse of the detailed environments. It also highlights compatibility with the racing controller, VGA output, and the Puru Puru pack. The next page showcases Koei, celebrating their 20th anniversary and a renewal of their logo and company name notation. A dramatic vertical tagline asks, "Can you survive alone?" A continuation of fear and madness. What awaits is a chilling smile. This intense phrasing sets a dark, perhaps challenging tone for their current releases or brand identity. Featured prominently at the bottom are two historical simulation heavyweights coming to the Dreamcast. First up is Romance of the Three Kingdoms Vist, the latest entry in the legendary strategy series, promising a romantic journey to conquer heaven, earth, and people. Alongside it is Nobunaga's Ambition, chronicles with the power-up kit, delivering the deep historical drama and strategic depth the series is known for. Set in Japan's turbulent Sengoku period, both titles are scheduled for release on March 25th for 9,800 yen each, highlighting Koei's continued commitment to bringing their acclaimed simulation experiences to the Dreamcast. These are classic strategy titles that define the genre for many players. This page features two distinct titles from Koei, picking up from the previous page's focus on the company's anniversary and new branding. The primary focus is on Seven Mansions, the Smiling Horror, a mystery-adventure game that directly ties into the chilling smile tagline mentioned previously. The striking artwork shows a man and woman emerging from a dark doorway, with a mysterious eye casting a shadow from the foreground, hinting at the game's suspenseful nature. The text highlights its unique two-controller system for solving mysteries and opening doors to adventure, featuring character designs by Atsushi Kamiho and music by Hiroshi Miyagawa, alongside a voice cast including Mariko Kuda and Hikaru Midorikawa. It was scheduled for a summer release at 6,800 yen. Featured alongside it is Mahjong Taikai 2 Special, a mahjong game promising animated characters that talk, get angry, and laugh, bringing a lively element to the classic game. A screenshot shows the game in action. This title was set for release on March 4th, also priced at 6,800 yen. The page includes standard company contact information for Koei. This page is a vibrant feature on one of the most anticipated Dreamcast launch titles, Sonic Adventure. The artwork dominates the page, showing a dynamic close-up of Sonic himself, with the iconic phrase, which translates to, "Adventure accelerates." Below him, the core cast of heroes gathers: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose, Big the Cat, and E102 Gamma, ready for action. The text below provides a summary of the game's premise. It sets the stage with a high-speed adventure across land and sea to protect the world from impending danger-ish. It highlights the 6 playable characters and the game's stunning visuals, noting that this is Sonic's return and the future standard for games. It also specifically mentions the VMU, Visual Memory Unit, functionality, allowing players to raise and alive KO outside of the main game. The title is clearly presented as Sonic Adventure, with the subtitle 3D, meaning high-speed 3D action. It states the game is now on sale for 5,800 yen. Additional information on the right identifies this as a page from Dreamcast Fan Magazine, issue number 4. Published on February 12, 1999. Sega's contact information and website are also listed.